click.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready, bud.
Let's
It says stop.
stop recording.
But we are recording.
Oh, okay. Well then why
He
does
does it to him every time. Every time. He's like,
That's
why
so
does it
wrong.
say stop recording?
But hello everybody. It's Bonsai Movie Crew. You know who it is? It's Matt. And I'm here with
Joseph.
And Karen.
Okay. Joseph's gonna do news. Enjoy it.
My God. It's always a pleasure when Matt's hosting. It's so good. What do we got here? All right, I got a little bit of news. Some of this stuff is kind of interesting. A couple of little interesting tidbits here. So first off, I'm going to start out with trailers. So there's a new trailer for that Mario Brothers movie that's out. We checked that out earlier today, yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they showed a little bit more of the movie. I'm kind of
Even though it's a cartoon, it looks good.
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited
It looks
for
really
it.
good.
Comes out the day before my birthday. I'm definitely taking my kids. So
Yeah. It looks like a good one you can take your kids to for sure.
so it looks like it's got a little bit of everything in it. Like it looks like it's doing some. I don't know if it's a Super Smash Brothers thing or if it's just a Donkey Kong and Mario thing.
I was wondering.
I thought it was like a little bit of everything as well.
Yeah,
well,
it
there
looks
was
like it
definitely
has
the
a
Mario.
Mario
It has the
Kart.
Mario Kart in it,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
But I saw like Donkey Kong and
Yeah.
then, yeah.
So I'm just hoping they're building up to like. I heard that Nintendo's doing this thing where they're like building it up, kind of like a multiverse.
Oh, that would
or
be
not
cool.
like a multiverse, but like a whole cinematic
universe.
universe
That
here
would
with
be
all their
Because even in
Nintendo
the previews,
characters.
like the princess says there's a whole bunch of universes. So
Yeah, and I'm okay with that, dude. That would be awesome to be honest with you, because Marvel's done it and they've tried it with a few other properties. I think that this would be the coolest way to do it.
Like,
sure,
if
and
they did it
it's
with
right
Mario-
that they would open it up with Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
If they did it with Mario and made it like a multiverse thing, it would make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping like next they do like Zelda, you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
and then like a whole movie about Zelda beating Ganondorf and all that stuff. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, it would.
I'd be down for all that.
Yeah, I don't even play much Nintendo, but I would dig that too.
But you grew up on them characters, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know all of them. So so anyway, so that's that. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. It's a really good. It's not just a teaser; it's an actual trailer.
Yeah.
But that comes out April 7th, I believe, as long as they haven't changed the release date.
I didn't see the date release.
That's what it was originally. Was April 7th. So as long as they haven't pushed it back or anything,
They've been doing that with a lot of movies. though,
they always
lately.
do it, man, for reshoots or
Well,
redesigns
When
or whatever.
2020 hit and the pandemic, they pushed a lot of stuff back.
Yeah.
Here lately, it's been because of either directors or actors.
Yeah, I remember they did the same thing with the Sonic movie. They had to push it back, but that was because they
Sonic
completely
looked creepy.
they had to completely redesign
What was wrong
Sonic.
with him?
Well, look at him; he looked like a god, like Sonic on crack.
Kidding.
He was like Sonic's like creepy,
Maybe
creepy uncle.
Maybe he lost too much weight. They had to wait for a while, let
Yeah.
him gain it back up.
You know,
so
though,
it looked
You got to
normal.
get off the
I couldn't
drugs,
get into
man.
that
Yeah.
movie. I tried watching it and I got like halfway through it and I was like, I'm done.
Sonic's good.
I liked
it.
I liked it a lot.
Kids love
actually.
those. The kids love those
yeah.
movies, man. They're good. Also, we just saw this today. New trailer for Cocaine Bear.
Yes.
I seen a thing for
Yes.
that yesterday, and they were like,
Dude.
they're making a movie for Cocaine Bear, and I was like, what the heck's Cocaine Bear?
It's based on actual events. I
Yeah.
can tell you the actual events. So how this went down was there was this guy.
I read the
Oh,
the
did you?
actual event.
Okay, well, I'm going to say it for everybody else. I'm just going to give you a little rundown. So apparently, back in the 80s, there was a guy who was transporting, I want to say around like $12 million in cocaine.
Yeah,
it
a lot
was-
of cocaine.
And
it
he
was a
jumped
lot of
out of a
cocaine.
plane trying to
Metric shit ton of cocaine.
yeah, jumped out of a plane and trying to smuggle this cocaine, and apparently his chute didn't work, and so he just went splat in someone's driveway or some shit. So they got a bunch of cocaine off of him. They found like $12 million worth of cocaine on him, but apparently there was a second bag of cocaine that had landed somewhere else, and
I heard it was crates, like crates of cocaine.
No, I'm pretty sure it was just like a big bag of cocaine.
Okay, but
But so this other bag of cocaine happened to land somewhere in the woods or something, and a bear got into it. Well, the bear didn't go on this like crazy fucking rampage.
No,
he just OD'd and died.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, yeah,
But
I read the story. The bear
implications
just
of-
Yeah, the
died.
implication.
But the
But
implications
apparently,
of what could have
yeah,
happened.
exactly. So apparently, what happened was this bear is now traveled around the country in different museums as the cocaine bear.
Yeah.
They
And-
They also have a name for it. It's Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, Pablo Escobar.
I didn't
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah, Pablo Escobar.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's just a bear with a sign around his neck, and I think a hat.
Yeah.
And it just says cocaine bear.
That's amazing.
So yeah, they call him Pablo Escobar.
that's the
So-
best thing ever.
But this movie, this trailer, like I heard about this movie a while back, and it's directed by Elizabeth Banks. Everybody, you know
Is
who
it
that?
I love
Directed by
her.
her?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I love her.
That makes that already. I was like, okay, I'm on board for this. I didn't think it was gonna be as like dirty minded as it is. I guess you could say
It's
because there's a lot of cuss. It's a little overboard.
Elizabeth Banks. Dude.
But Elizabeth Banks has done like she never. I mean, she did some like other comedies, but like she did like Pitch Perfect. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. So like for this, and I'm like looking at this movie
she's a
like
dirty girl. Though.
she is. I like Elizabeth
Yeah,
Banks. Though.
that's
I
the
love
thing.
Elizabeth Banks.
She's a dirty girl.
Yeah, I love her though. I think she's
oh, like
great.
she's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So she so the movie is like a complete exaggeration of
Oh,
that story.
absolutely. Yeah.
Like that there, I don't even think there's a guy that lands or anything. They just find this cocaine.
Yeah, it's more like
Somebody threw it out of a
yeah, like
plane
somebody was throwing
and-
it out of the plane, and
And
yeah,
the authorities found it, and then like a bear happened to find another stash of it.
Yeah.
Well, this bear goes on this fucking rampage on cocaine. He's running faster than cars and fucking just destroying people. Like
And actually
he's like
like
fully
Jordan.
and
sprinting
actually
up
like
trees.
snorting the cocaine
And
like,
actually,
that he
yeah.
finds along the way.
He
like
like
snorting
bites
it.
a dude's leg off and then snorts cocaine
Yep.
off of it. I don't know. It looks insane,
Yep.
and I'm totally 100% down with watching.
Oh, I'm
this
definitely
movie.
watching it for sure.
Yeah, that movie looks. It looks like it's gonna be a good fucking time.
Oh, for sure.
So that's all I really got for trailers this week. I do have a little bit of news. Universal, like that Megan movie that's coming out.
Oh yeah.
So Universal is already betting on making so much. Like I guess they've already seen it, and they're already talking about greenlighting a sequel, and it hasn't even been released yet. Because I think they believe that they might have their next franchise on their hands.
I'm sorry, but if you're going to do a sequel, you need to see what the people
Well,
think.
I know, I understand that. Well, that's usually what happens is they do test audiences for a movie, and depending on the reaction, sometimes they'll greenlight it. Like they did the same thing with X.
Yeah.
They watched. Actually, they didn't even have a fucking movie for X yet. They just
Yeah.
saw the trailer and was like, "We love it. Go ahead." And they're like, "Here's more money. Do more movies."
Well, who's
So
the
they
director?
He went ahead. That was for
No, for Megan.
the direct. I don't know who the director is, but James
reason-
Wan and Jason Blum are both
Involved.
in this. They're both
Okay.
producers, and so that's my other part of news there because I'm surprised that they're going to greenlight this already.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of it has to do with all the buzz behind the trailer.
Yeah. I
because
mean,
it's picking up a lot of traction on TikTok. And
I was blown
all
away
that
by the
stuff.
trailer, but I mean, I don't know. Like X, I feel like with the test audience and it being Ty West, that was
Yeah.
where that kind of came from.
Yeah, but Ty West, he's a good director, but like I couldn't imagine somebody
The
just
only-
throwing money at
Sure.
it.
The only thing I'm saying though is that like every single movie he's done has
Yeah.
gotten some kind of like big buzz, right?
Big buzz, yeah.
I've not been a fan of every movie he's done.
No.
I've been a fan of some movies he's done, but not every.
I couldn't
single
even tell
one.
you all of his movies, to be honest with you.
I mean, the only one I can really think of is that what was it, The Devil's House or whatever. I really liked
Yeah,
that
The
movie.
Devil's House.
I hated The Innkeepers, and I liked X. So I mean, that's the only
I
thing I,
didn't
can
like
tell
The
you really.
Innkeepers much either. It was
I-
too boring.
Yeah, it was
too
very
slow.
boring.
So that brings me to my next set of news here, which pertains to that. So apparently, Blumhouse and Atomic, which is James Wan's studio.
Yeah,
Apparently, they're talking about joining to become one studio.
I heard about that.
And so, if they do that, do you realize how they could dominate the fucking horror movie industry?
I mean, I feel like Blumhouse already kind of does that.
They do,
So, like,
but so does
if-
James Wan.
Sure.
I forgot. That's what it was. So the writer of *Malignant* wrote Megan.
Okay.
So they're expecting what we're expecting is that it's going to be bonkers off the wall, kind of like *Malignant* was. And if it's in the same tone or madness of what I got out of *Malignant*, I'm 100% on board because I love *Malignant*. I know a lot of people.
I didn't care.
I know
for
a lot
Malignant.
of people didn't like it, but I love that fucking movie.
I
thought
liked
it was
the
great.
story. I liked *Malignant*. I liked the story.
Yeah,
It just didn't transfer well to.
I did. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great.
It didn't transfer well to.
It was
film.
fucking. It was insane. It was batshit crazy. So anyway, so yeah, so Blumhouse and Atomic Studios are talking about becoming one entity, and just if they do, who's going to tell them no? You know what I mean? Like, hey, we want to direct the next Freddy Krueger movie. Okay.
No.
Why would they say no?
I'll tell them no.
Yeah, why would they say
I'll
no
tell
though?
them no.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
Whenever you get two powerhouses like that, who's going to stop them from getting whoever they want?
But the problem is when you get too big like that, that's when you start to suck.
That's true. Yeah.
That's when you start to suck, and that's
Yeah.
what makes me sad about this because I like most Blumhouse productions.
Most of them.
I said
yeah.
most. I didn't say all.
I agree. We'll see though. Maybe
Yeah.
they won't. Maybe they will. James Wan's doing.
This is sad news for me, in my opinion.
I think I'm excited for it if it does happen. I think it could be a good thing.
Godspeed.
Yeah.
I don't have high hopes.
That's pretty much all I have for news. Or well, let me check my phone and see if I have anything else that I might have.
You should have wrote it down.
Well, I do, or
You
I
gotta get more
snapshot
organized, man.
it. Is there something up
You have
there?
a little yellow string on your hat.
I don't.
Grooming each other over here. Let me get that for you.
Well, if I would have said it, he would have just went like this, and then it would still be on there and bothering me.
No, I
you'd
don't have
probably
it.
be
That's all
staring
I
at it
have.
for the rest of the show.
That is it.
Okie dokie.
Okay, now the part of the show where we talk about what we've been watching. I haven't watched anything. I've been trying to beat Far Cry 6, and it just keeps going.
It just keeps going.
Don't stop, man.
It is a very long game.
I thought I was to the end.
I've had it since the day it released, and I still haven't beat
I
it.
thought it was close to the end, and now I still think I'm close to the end. But I thought that I was
But
going
I
to
feel
kill
like I
the
still got
guy,
another 8 hours.
and then I found out there was another guy that I forgot about. So yeah, I just been playing Far Cry 6. With just want to stop. I just want it over.
I just wanted to end.
So I haven't watched anything. But let's go to Joseph.
I watched some of that Beast movie, The Beast, with Idris Elba. He fights a lion.
Oh, yeah. We
I
talked
saw
about that.
bits and pieces of it. I didn't watch it all because it was Thanksgiving Day, and
You were cooking.
I was cooking, so I was in and out of the movie. What I saw, it looked pretty awesome. It looked really well done. Idris Elba's a badass. I love that other dude that's in the movie. I can't remember his fucking name. He's from Hardcore Henry, and he's also in District 9.
I know who you're
And,
talking
yeah.
about. He was like the main guy, main 9 guys, and because he was like 9 guys.
Oh yeah, Hardcore Henry, yeah. So he was in it, and I love him. He plays a normal dude though. He doesn't play like a crazy which is weird because I'm used to seeing him in like crazy fucking roles and like in Hardcore Henry.
You know, it was funny because I saw him in District 9, and then after that, then that's when I started noticing him.
Exactly. Yeah. Same here. So he's an awesome actor. I love him. But anyway, because he also played the crazy guy in 18, the movie, the remake, the movie.
I haven't seen it in such a long
I
time.
can't remember his name, but he's the pilot from 18.
None of these movies.
Isn't that
I haven't
Face?
seen any of these
None of 'em?
movies. None of them.
I think
Not
it was
Face. That's that was.
I saw the trailer for
Marduk?
District 9. Does that
Marduk?
count?
Yeah, that's his name.
Maddox?
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
I think District 9's on my list.
Oh, it's awesome.
You know,
You've not seen
the
it?
funny
I
thing
know.
about District 9...
I know, weird, right?
Yeah,
The
it's a
funny
good
thing
movie.
that I remember about District 9 is every guy I talked to loved that movie. Every girl hated it.
I'll probably like it.
Karen's more of on that dude spectrum. Like,
Yeah.
so I watched that, and then I want to say I'm 6 episodes into the Wednesday series. I've got
How
2
you like
episodes
that?
left. It's good. It's good.
Is
I
it
like
good?
it. I've got a few things with that I didn't care so much for. Like I don't like the guy who plays Gomez. Luis Guzman is
Yeah.
his name.
Yeah.
I don't like him as Gomez so much. He doesn't have, but my thing is though
The
is
problem is we grew up with one.
we grew up
Gomez.
with the one Gomez from the Addams Family movies, whereas I think they're trying to take a little bit
They're
more
trying to
from
go with
show.
the comic. No, they're trying to go with the comic. The comic had a Gomez that was a little bit more full face, like big guy,
Right.
and that's where they're trying to get their inspiration from. And he was a little more campy, a little more,
I won't.
you know.
I won't.
It
watch
wasn't. He wasn't Raul Julia.
Well, he's not very campy in the show. Though.
No.
He's not. He doesn't have a lot of charisma. Is the problem, and he's just kind of there. You know what I mean? Like he does have his moments, and he is like an endearing person, but like he just doesn't have that charisma.
Okay.
So
See, I won't watch it because one, I don't like the guy who plays Gomez.
yeah.
I don't like the guy who plays Uncle Fester.
I haven't got. That's the next episode. Is
And
I
I don't-
haven't watched that one yet.
and I don't like what the direction they're going with it. It's not supposed. It's not supposed to be Addams Family. It's not Addams Family. Yeah, it's not supposed to be violent and stuff. It's supposed to be campy.
Well, technically, it's based off of a TV. It's all based off of a TV show. From
Yes, and
fucking-
have you watched the TV show?
Yeah, it's very black and white.
campy.
It's kind of campy. It's more of a sitcom, really. Like in the original, Wednesday had feelings. She wasn't like this. She wasn't the Wednesday you got in the movies.
Right.
So she was
They
very,
took
she
a
was
lot of
very much a
liberties.
child still.
They took a lot of liberties
Yeah.
in the movies that we
So
grew up
she was
with.
very much a child. I remember one episode I watched of the original show. Wednesday came home from school crying, and whenever mother asked her what was wrong, she said she was crying because in the story, instead of the hero killed
Yeah.
the dragon.
Yeah.
Well, she was sad that the dragon had died.
Right.
I remember
So she
that
did show
episode.
feeling, but it was still in
just-
that.
yeah,
It was in
right.
that very morbid
Right.
manner.
Right.
I watched some of the original, and I really liked it. I don't know why I stopped watching it. I think I just got interested in something else. But I liked the because the kids had more feeling
Yeah.
in those. And
Yeah,
also,
they-
have you ever seen a color picture of that house?
Yeah, it's pink.
It's like pinks, and yeah, it's really
Is it?
bright. That's,
They had to for it to give the right hue and black
You
and
say,
white.
yeah.
yeah.
But the show itself, it's not bad. I would recommend it for sure. I'm enjoying it. Me and Crystal are trying to get through it, as much as we can. But we've stopped watching everything else just to watch this, so
Yeah.
it must be good. It's got its moments where you're like, okay, come on. But dude, the girl Jenna Ortega is Wednesday. She's killing it.
That would
dude.
be the only reason I would
She's killing it.
really give it a shot, is
Yeah.
because I really like her.
Oh yeah, yeah. And honestly, her
just-
parents really aren't in, but like a couple of episodes. So like it's mostly just her and her classmates and Thing. Thing, is in
Right,
it in,
right.
like, every
Yeah, I
episode.
know Thing is well, Thing was always hers, right? Thing was always hers.
I also
The Thing
don't
is
like what
more
they
of
did
just the
with Thing.
family. So
I don't like what they did with Thing either.
why?
Thing's a hand.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, in that one, he's like all stitched together and stuff.
I could care less that
I
he's
don't.
stitched together.
I don't care for that. I like just like the regular old.
I just think that Jenna Ortega's killing it, and I think her friends, like you would think they would be annoying, but they're not. They're like even her supposed best friend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's got she's very colorful, which is the opposite of Wednesday,
Sure.
and she's very bubbly and flamboyant, and even she doesn't get on my nerves. So, and Catherine Zeta-Jones, I've heard some people complain about her Morticia, but I think she's doing a fine job.
I wouldn't say that she would be doing a bad job.
No.
I can't really see where she'd be doing a bad job.
Yeah.
The only one that I was ever concerned about at all was Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman is the only one I had. I can understand he looks like him,
He has the look.
but he
Yeah.
he doesn't do it for me.
He has the look that they were going for. If
Yeah.
you
He's
look
not
at
a
the
good
comic,
actor.
if you look at the comic,
I've never.
he looks like the comic.
Right, I've seen.
Yeah,
the
I've
comic
seen the
before.
comic. And in
Them
the
bulging
comic,
eyes and
he's-
that full face.
He's
Yeah,
got a fuller face and stuff. Yeah, in the comic, I like the version of him in the comic. I like the way he looks. But yeah, the guy who they just picked to do him, I won't watch because I don't like it. And Uncle Fester has always been my favorite character. So
Yeah.
I just don't like who they... Because the guy from, what is that, Portlandia?
yeah.
Yeah, why can't we ever remember it? I remember his name fine
he's-
off air.
He's
I do.
also the Escuzzi guy.
Yeah, I
Escuzzi.
remember
I
his
don't-
name fine when we're not recording.
I don't like him.
I cannot
don't think he's
freaking
funny.
don't-
stand
I don't
the
like him
guy.
either.
He has a very stale sense of humor.
Yeah, and he's the only he's the reason why I never watched Portlandia because I just don't like him. I,
I
don't know what it
watched
is.
one episode of Portlandia and I was like, this is stupid.
It's crazy because everybody thinks he's so funny, but like
I don't think he's funny.
I don't think he's funny at
I don't
all.
think he's funny at all.
Well, because he was also, I used to watch that Kimmy Schmidt Unbreakable.
Yeah.
And he was in that, and I hated every episode he was in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just don't care for him. I don't know what it is. I just don't think he's funny.
I have his name written down from last week somewhere.
But I also, I've always liked Uncle Fester, but I think the main part I liked him in the movies was because he's played by Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd kills it.
He killed
dude.
it.
Like, yeah. him as Fester was just them movies though. That, like I said though, those were the standard that we went by for the Addams Family because that's what we grew up on, and they were fucking awesome. They were awesome movies. Both of them were really. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Like, anyway, that's all I've watched this week. So,
Fred Armisen.
Yeah, see,
You're welcome. I knew I wrote it down somewhere.
I still won't remember it.
I won't either. But every time we get on here, we say that Portlandia guy. Like none of us can remember his name, so I wrote it down. It's like we've said his name. We've said that literally.
You need to write it on the wall somewhere.
I
like
know. We
Fred
literally
Armisen.
said that like 5 times. I think where it's that Portlandia guy. Nobody can remember his name.
Right there tells you that we don't care enough.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I wrote it down because of something that we talked about last week. But like, oh my god, I can't. I know, but like, it was something that I wanted to talk about regarding him.
Oh.
So I wrote the name down, but like. I can't stand the guy.
I don't like him either.
Everybody's like, "Oh, he's so funny. He's so deadpan, and not in the good way."
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You get a dose of him. He's okay.
The funniest thing he did was the Muscoozy.
I say the Muscoozy guy was like
and that's
probably the funniest thing I might have ever seen him do.
Yeah, and that's only because he's got like 3 minutes of screen time.
And he's just Muscoozy.
There are times when dry humor is funny.
Sure.
Yeah.
But he's nothing but dry humor.
Yeah, but I mean, and dry as in like there's no lubrication at all, and you need a little bit.
We're just taking it really hard, fast, and dry.
You need a little bit of lube, at least a little.
Got really sexual there.
Yeah, it did.
Only between you two guys. Maybe there's some sexual tension there. I don't know.
No, just between me and Fred Armisen, apparently.
That's fair.
Muscoozy.
Yeah.
He just needs me. He just wants to rub me.
He wants to rub everyone. Did you see that scene? So I did not watch much this week either. Apparently, we all kind of had off weeks. So I stayed with
Thanksgiving too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it was pretty busy.
I thought I watched something else this week, but I can't for the life of me.
I feel I watched a movie too. I just don't remember what it was.
I think I did too. I don't remember. I need to start writing it.
I usually watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles like every year, like a religion.
That was one took this morning.
I usually watch it because of Thanksgiving. Like that's like a Thanksgiving movie for me. Like
we should have reviewed Dutch for Thanksgiving.
I cannot find it though. I wanted to. I had that on my list as something that we should have watched, but I can't find it anywhere. Really? I don't own it. I can't find it streaming.
That's such a funny fucking
It is
movie.
A great movie, but like
it's because you don't get a lot of what's his name what's his name? The main
Ed
guy.
O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill. You don't get a lot of
right, and
like
that's one
you
of
just
Ethan
know Married
Embry's...
from Children and Modern Family, but he's done movies, man.
Yeah, that's one of Ethan Embry's. I think that's Ethan Embry's first movie.
Was it?
Yeah, and I love that movie, but you cannot find it. You can't buy it. You can't. It's not streaming. So I was like, that's not an option because ain't nobody got it. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was on cable today, and I didn't watch it though because it was already halfway through.
Oh, I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That shit's funny.
I just love John Candy.
Oh yeah,
John Candy is good.
I don't give a fuck about Steve Martin. I just love John Candy.
I like Steve Martin too.
Steve Martin's funny.
John Candy's one of them actors that I like. Whenever he died, I was just like,
I've heard
I was a kid.
That was the first celebrity I legit was sad.
Yeah, I was a kid, but I was like, God damn it! Like he was a good one.
I legit I teared up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was the first time I remember
him, and then Chris Farley shortly
Ooh.
after. Another one that killed me. So
yeah. So I watched. I'm trying to finish up Law and Order still. I'm almost there.
Law and Order's gonna take forever.
No, I'm almost there.
Really?
No, I've been watching it off and on for like years. So like, I'm almost there.
She's trying to.
I am almost there. Almost there. I think I've got.
I've been doing the same thing with Supernatural, dude. There's 15 seasons.
Oh, I'm done with that. I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah, but I didn't start
rewatching it.
I didn't start it until it ended, though.
Oh, I love that show.
I've been watching Burn Notice again.
And then I watched Nope because I hadn't seen that yet.
Did you like that?
I liked it.
It was good.
I did like that.
It.
I normally hate alien movies.
But that was not
weird. That was not an
this
alien movie
weird.
like an alien movie.
Right.
That was an abnormal alien
this
movie.
Has nothing to do with what we watched, but I have actually watched some videos. Have you heard about Established Titles?
No.
Established Titles is a website you can go. You can buy a piece of land in Scotland
Oh, yeah.
and
yeah.
legally change.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I'm
No,
sure,
they
yeah.
found out that they actually found out that it's a scam.
I'm sure it is.
I
saw that on television and thought it was a scam.
A guy.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
now they're actually listing it as a gag gift and stuff. Now, after this guy put out a video saying that it was a scam, now they're listing it as,
Okay.
oh, it's a gag gift. But the guy,
Nobody's gonna buy it anymore.
I can't believe people bought it anyway.
I know. Like,
well, anyways.
and so you're telling me I can go over there and how big were the plots of land?
Yeah, like
square
a foot
foot.
by a
A
foot.
square foot. Like, so it's like this big. Like,
So I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
go stand on it. Like, this is my property. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
They planted a tree on it. They said they were supposed to plant a tree on it. But listen, that's not. But anyways, there were a whole
So
bunch
you're
of
gonna
guys.
sit in your tree.
Or like if the tree grows over into another person's plot.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Sorry,
talking about
dude.
This. You guys
Sorry,
aren't
we're just
even-
trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
It's just that I thought it was a good idea when I first heard about it. I didn't care so much about the Lord or Lady thing, but I always liked things like they plant a tree or something. I thought that was cool because Scotland's
If
pretty.
they were really gonna do it, sure, that would have been cool.
Well, they do. They say they do go with a place that plants trees, but also souvenir. The guy was showing in the video, you can't buy souvenir land in Scotland and it changes your name. That's not how lords and ladies work.
No.
And then he also said they plant a tree, but you're not like. And yeah, so after he did this,
So they really do plant a tree, though.
they give money to a place that plants trees.
Oh,
But
so they don't. They don't actually get a.
Yeah, but
piece of
anyways,
land.
so
Okay.
it was them. It was Established Titles. This kind of knife thing that I've heard the people who did Established Titles also did this knife company. Some other company and one of those bid channels. It's a website where you go. You've probably seen them on TV. Oh, I got this big screen TV for $2.50. For $2.50, and then what it is because the only reason you got it for $2.50 is because you pay for every bid that you make,
Right.
even if you don't win.
Yeah.
And it's basically all scams that this guy is running.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah, it's a
It's
bidding
all.
website.
It's just.
You pay for everything. Every bid that you make, like you can make up to say you make.
Well, I wouldn't do that anyway. That's
Yeah, it's a scam website, and the guy who owns all these companies moved to China because the business practices there are shady everywhere in China.
Yeah, of course.
They don't have the restrictions like we have. But yeah, I just
They need to
wanted bring
restrict
that
their
up.
fucking
So
baby making.
If there's anybody who listens who wants to buy Established Titles, they're a scam.
Just remember, it's a scam, which I could have told you that to begin with. I didn't believe that shit for
Yeah.
a minute.
Yeah,
Make me a
no.
lord or lady. Yeah, okay.
that's not how.
You're
that
gonna need
works.
more than a foot by foot fucking plot of land.
I
Well,
thought
you
so
have to-
too, but I
you
still
have
thought
to
it was
be-
interesting.
You have
It
to
is.
be
I mean, it
born
is
into
interesting.
that.
Don't get me wrong, but like if they were actually gonna plant a tree for you, that's
You could-
cool.
That's what
You know
I was.
mean?
That's what I was saying. Like if they were really gonna do that,
But
that's
they're just
one
throwing
thing,
money at a company that plants trees.
Yeah,
Right.
like
So-
I didn't care about the Lord and Lady thing so far as it was cool that they were going to plant a tree in Scotland because I think Scotland's beautiful and that's where I found out my heritage comes from. Well, heard that my heritage comes from. This is a long story, but anyways, yeah, I just thought it was neat and it kind of made me mad but like I heard it from the quartering guy. See scan. And he was apologizing because he didn't realize it was a scam.
Oh, and
And
he
they
was.
were-
He was.
he was
I think he. Yeah, he was.
Oh,
He was actually. I remember watching some of his stuff, and he was sponsored by them.
Yeah, because they would
Oh.
send out they would send out things.
So,
and he was like, "I'm
okay.
sorry, I didn't know that this company was." He always thought that it was. He always thought it was kind of a gag gift, but he didn't realize the depth that it went.
that people didn't realize.
Yeah.
That. Okay.
Well, if it's a gag gift, why is he trying to sell it off like it's not? Because
He
I've
did-
seen him advertise it before, and he never acted like, yeah, you know, this is.
either way, though, I didn't watch his whole video. He told who the guy who did the real video was, so I decided to watch that guy.
Oh,
So I watched the real video on it.
Got it. Okay.
But don't buy from Established Titles.
just don't buy anything
Now
from
they're
Scotland.
backstepping like crazy though.
Don't buy anything from Scotland.
I don't know if you want to go that far.
I don't know. Fuck the Scots.
No,
I don't know.
I got family over there, man.
I probably do. I don't know. We're all mutts over here. It don't matter. We've all got a little bit of something in you. And if you don't, I'm sure somebody will put it in you for you.
Ugh. You get some dirty.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about the movie.
We probably should.
the
Before
movie-
Joseph keeps talking about dirty stuff.
And the movie we watched this week was Gangs of New York. I don't got any of the other information
Oh,
about
for
it.
fuck's sake.
I got you.
Hold on, Karen's got it.
2002, 2 hours 47 minutes, starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Amsterdam Valen, Cameron Diaz as Jenny Everdeen, Daniel Day-Lewis as Bill the Butcher Cutting, directed by Martin Scorsese, written by Jay Cox, Steven Zalen, and Kenneth Lonergan? Yeah. The synopsis is it's 1863. Amsterdam Valen returns to the 5 Points of America to seek vengeance against the psychotic gangland kingpin Bill the Butcher, who murdered his father years earlier with an eager pickpocket by his side and a whole new army. Valen fights his way to seek vengeance on the Butcher and restore peace in the area.
And just so if you haven't watched the movie, Bill the Butcher is called Bill the Butcher because he's an actual butcher.
I'm sure we would have talked about that. I'm sure it would have come up, maybe, but
But still, we just
sure.
But anyways,
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
So we were punching microphones and shit.
but so what now we do is we talk about now is if I would watch the movie again, and I would suggest to watch it because it's a good period piece, and it's a really good movie. So what would you do, Jesse?
I would recommend it for sure. It's a good movie. It's fucking long. I think they could trim a little. They could shave some time off of this movie for sure.
They could have, but
Because it's like a full 2 hours and 47 minutes or something, and that is just they could easily shave probably 15 to 20 minutes.
there's
off
a
this
lot
movie.
of time.
Easily.
They spend a lot of time getting Amsterdam onto Bill's side. They spend a lot.
They do.
of time.
I understand a lot of the slower paced moments of the movie, and I get it. But there are still some things that they could shave off,
Yeah.
from this movie. And
I was looking to see if I
easily
wrote
just
it
make it
down.
like a 2 hour and 20 minute movie.
I was looking to see if I wrote it down, but the original cut was an hour and a half longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would have watched that.
I don't think I don't.
I
Think
don't have it in me.
I don't have it in me, man.
I like.
I know. I was dreading sitting down to watch this last night because I knew how long it was.
Okay, well then, see, that's the way I feel about a lot of movies we watch.
Hold on. I was only dreading it because of how long it was, not because of the movie.
The reason I dread it is because I don't like deadlines, and I don't be like, I really don't be like, told to watch this.
It's kind of the
Yeah.
thing we got going on here. With this
I
That's
mean,
why when you said
wait,
we're going to
wait.
be doing a thing on movies, I was like,
to be fair, you were asked, not made,
Yeah.
to do this.
Matt, we would be sad to see you go, but if you quit the podcast, we're like, well, we understand it if you don't want to do it.
No, it's not so much the movies as I can watch the movies. It's just I found out with a lot of things I don't like deadlines.
Well, if
That's
you
the
don't
big
have
thing.
one though, then it never gets done.
Man,
That's kind of the thing.
I don't know. Hold on now. Hold on.
That's
How
kind of
do-
the thing.
How do you get your bills paid every month?
Oh, good.
Those are deadlines, bud. Every
Doesn't mean
month.
I like them.
Doesn't mean I like it.
with those things, it's actually became habit.
I can see him writing out a check for his electric bill. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. I'm gonna do it.
I have to call in for my electric bill.
They tell him over the phone. I don't want to pay you, but God damn it, I will. Only because I got
Time
to.
Warner. Oh wait, and now it's Spectrum.
Spectrum.
F you, Spectrum.
No, with bills, now it's become more of just habit. Like,
Yeah, it's just something you know.
like
you
even
gotta
if
do.
I don't have to pay it, I'll pay it because
So this is habit now. We've been doing it for a while.
no, not
This
for
is
me.
15. This is
Because
15
it's still
episodes.
there's
I thought this
just
was 16 if you count the bonus, right?
It's 16 if you count the bonus. Yeah.
Okay.
because there are just sometimes where it's like I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch a movie right now,
Right.
and it's just like sometimes I wish I was like I wish it was at the end of the week, not at Wednesday.
Yeah, that's just how I felt last night with this movie. It was like, God damn, it's so long, and I didn't get. And I got kids, so I can't watch the movie till they're pretty much settling down. So a 3-hour movie is like cutting into almost midnight for me.
This is also longest movie I think we've ever had.
It is. But anyway, yeah, I would recommend the movie, and it would be a while before I watched it again because I had seen this movie once before, and I watched it this time, and it would have to be a good amount of time before I watch it again, not because I hate the movie, but just because of its length. That's like going back and like, I think I'd like to watch the Titanic again. No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't want to.
What about you, Karen?
I would recommend the movie. I probably won't watch it again. Not because it was bad. I like the movie. It's just long, and it's not really like my forte, I guess. Yeah, I like period pieces, and I usually just watch them once, though. Like, I watch it once, I got the gist, I like the movie, I'm over it, I'm done.
So I'm the only one that liked the movie and would watch it again?
I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it again. I'd watch it again just for Daniel Day-Lewis.
Well, you just said that you wouldn't watch it again.
You said not right away.
Not right away.
Oh,
no.
okay. Well, yeah,
I'd watch it again.
I'd watch
not
it
anytime
again.
soon.
I own it.
I do too.
I 3 hours, man. And whew.
I thought I'm the one who would have been like, oh, it's 3 hours. Because usually I'm...
Not whenever it's what you like, man. Like, you picked
Yeah, and
this movie.
it's not that I hate these kind of movies. I like them. I watch them once.
Dude, I
I'm
watched
good
the
at
Batman
once.
and with Robert Pattinson,
Yeah.
and I loved every minute of that movie.
Yeah.
I could watch that movie over and over again.
Yeah.
But that is by far
That's my forte.
favorite.
That's my thing.
But that's also my favorite Batman movie.
That's a good one.
I
I
fucking
can't-
love that movie.
I can say probably with the Gangs of New York, I do like the time period that it's set in.
Sure, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I like period pieces, and I really did love the sets. I mean, like, they did a great job with the sets.
They look
the
fantastic.
wardrobes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
even
all
the
of
city,
that is
the
amazing.
sets, everything looks lived in.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Grungy.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. And I even wrote that down about how they made it look very authentic.
And the other thing I was blown away by was all of the different accents. Like, because it was very, like, not all of the Irish people sounded completely Irish.
yeah,
right?
because
Like,
they even mentioned that though too.
right. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, all of the different dialects were
Yeah, 'cause even-
very, very good, and everybody that did it was very good.
And that was one thing that, like, because I even wrote this down too, because about almost through the movie, all the way through the movie, Cameron Diaz, like, everybody's like, oh, well, Cameron Diaz, man, her accent, blah, blah, blah. Dude, this is one movie I will say, she didn't get on my nerves. Like, I was
honestly-
surprised she did not kill the movie for me at all. I thought she did a fine job.
The only thing that I noticed, okay, like, everybody said that she takes you out of the movie, right?
Yeah, I didn't
get that.
I didn't either.
The one thing I will say, the only thing that I noticed is, and this was one thing that did kind of bother me, and it did kind of pull me out a little bit, was that it seemed like she couldn't hold the accent. Like, she would start out
and
strong.
that's, yeah, but
and
you
then
gotta also
kinda
understand,
trail off.
one thing that I kind of took from that was she even said that Billy had taken her in as a child.
Sure.
And Billy has a very, very American accent.
Sure.
So I could only imagine that she probably grew up, with that accent, because I know over time you can pick up accents.
Sure. And like I said, that's the only thing. But the only thing I would say about that is it just seemed like a strange way. If she grew up there, it would be
thicker. It would be thicker American than it would Irish.
Yeah, she starts out so Irish at the front, and then just American
As
at the
it kind
end.
of trickles out.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bothered me.
I don't. I see. It kind
Because-
of did for me a little bit too, but I think that a lot of it was like she didn't have as much dialogue towards the end as it was like
wasn't-
certain whimpers and things like that.
Sure, and
or
it wasn't
one words.
enough. It wasn't enough to throw me. It wasn't enough for me to go.
Yeah.
She's terrible. She shouldn't have
That's
got the part.
That's the thing.
She's-
I 100% agree. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that it was near
There-
that bad.
it
She's
was
done
not.
far worse in other movies.
I will say I don't think she's. Okay, Cameron Diaz, she's pretty. I don't think she makes a good redhead.
Jeremiah hated her. Like, he's like, because I kept saying, like, I thought she was pretty, and he's like, her mouth is too big.
And her mouth is big,
He's
and
like,
you're right.
oh,
She does
God.
not make a
I
good
have
redhead.
a feeling Jeremiah's got very particular
Yeah,
standards.
yeah, particular
Well,
taste.
I mean, like, I'm not.
Well, no, just.
I'm not like a model or anything. So
Well, I'm not saying that. It's just like
He's got
some of the stuff-
standards. He don't like ugly redheads.
yeah, exactly. That's
But,
basically
yeah,
it. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Cameron Diaz. I never really have. But yeah, I just don't think her complexion isn't right for red hair.
I don't like, and Jeremiah's right. I don't like her big fucking mouth.
Yeah, her mouth's
I've
really
never liked
big.
her mouth. She's always had this giant mouth.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna eat your face.
Yeah, I'll bet you'll sit here and you'll go, "Oh, Angelina Jolie's pretty."
No, she's not.
Okay, thank God. 'Cause
She used to
was
be.
never pretty. She was
She's not.
never pretty.
Yeah, she was.
She looked like she got kicked in the
was.
face by a horse.
That's some big old lips. Yeah.
And not a pretty horse. It was an ugly horse as well.
It was ugly.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Jesus.
Tell us how
It
you
wasn't
really
a horse,
feel.
it was probably a mule.
And Jeremiah is the one that's particular.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. But he also thinks that Drew Barrymore is attractive.
I think Drew Barrymore is
I
attractive.
don't think.
See? No, I will say,
Attractiveness, though, is like music.
Oh.
Everybody's got their taste,
Everybody
yeah.
has their taste.
Yes, but also, I think Drew Barrymore was prettier when she was. Now she's getting old. She's not as pretty as she used to be. I will say.
Nobody is. My
Well, I'm
God.
not saying-
Well, look at like Charlie's Angels, right? So Charlie's Angels back in the 70s, they were hot. They were bombshells, you know? And then they cast Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore,
and Lucy Liu.
but Lucy Liu, dude. No?
No.
See, fuck you guys.
No.
Yeah, Lucy Liu, man.
No.
Yeah. I'm
No.
taking that one.
Oh, no, you can have her.
Or you can have your Cameron Diaz's and your Drew
no,
Barrymores.
I will have Drew Barrymore. Thank you.
And
very
I'll
much.
take the Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu is pretty.
You can have her. You guys can have her. Tag team it. Tag team
No,
it.
I get
Thank
Lucy
you.
Liu. You get
Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. You can have Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. Well, now that we've established
You
that,
didn't. Yeah, you didn't speak up, dude. You get.
you get
You
what's
know,
left.
You get the leftovers, man. Cameron Diaz.
It's okay. She's still rich.
Well, at least she's not a redhead in Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, see, she's blonde.
Yeah.
So the complexion thing won't bother
But I get
you.
Lucy Liu.
That's fine.
That reminds me of Futurama Bender. No, it's there's an episode of Futurama where they do robot clones, and Fry gets a robot of Lucy Liu and falls in love with her, but the real Lucy Liu falls in love with Bender.
Makes
Like
sense.
her real head in a jar.
Yeah.
Falls in love with, like in later episodes, you see her carrying her head around.
That's funny.
That's funny. I'm gonna put this out there. I'll give you the choice. You have Cameron Diaz or Bill Murray.
You know I'm going to go with Cameron Diaz.
Okay. Well, or you can go with
Wait, are you talking about like dating or like?
whatever you want. However you want it, bud.
Still gonna have to go with Cameron Diaz.
Or you can go with the second movie and go with who was in the second movie?
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac. Yeah.
Yeah,
No?
you're always gonna pick Cameron Diaz.
Well, he's
every
dead
time.
anyway,
Yeah, 'cause
so.
I was thinking of the corpse problem.
Oh yeah. He might not be all that warm.
But okay.
I have to ask though, like, what was the cheek cutting about? I never got. Well, why did they cut their cheeks? They all had scars and they all cut their cheeks. What was that about?
I didn't understand it either, but I feel like I didn't say anything because I feel it had something to do with it.
It had some kind of significance, and I forgot to look it up, so I
But
thought I'd
see,
ask
I'm
you
not,
guys.
because my thing is I don't know that stuff because I was not Irish in that time, so
All
I
right,
don't know
I'm looking
about
it
What
up
the
then
fuck?
because I just
Of
forgot
course
about
It
it.
could be an Irish thing.
You were not Irish in that time.
I wasn't.
You were an Irish
He
in the
wasn't
1800s.
Irish then.
I wasn't. You know what I mean, Joseph? Come on, I wasn't alive in the 1800s.
No, you weren't. Your great grandmother or your great grandmother was just a stain on your daddy's sheets, bud.
I'm looking it up. Because
Matt's
it's
like, get
bothering me.
fucked.
But also, did anybody else kind of find it kind of funny that all the Irish people lived in an old brewery?
No, it makes sense.
But I thought it was kind of. I was kind of
made
like,
sense.
And the fact that the old brewery was called the Old Brewery.
Yeah. They kept it very simple, you know?
I typed in cheek cutting, gangs of New York, and I get bill cutting. No, that's not what I'm asking. But thanks. All right, so since we don't have an answer to that,
Also, when they came outside of the brewery, it looked like a lot more people on the inside that were like with them.
yeah, well, they started out like with just a little crowd, and then like, where did those other people come from after he said something? He said something, and then more people like
Those
showed
were
up.
other gangs that decided to fight alongside them.
Oh,
Yeah, remember,
Where
they
the-
they
okay.
announced themselves.
okay. Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, those were other gangs that decided to fight alongside them.
Why did he take his kid into battle? asking for a friend.
He set him off to the side, but
I
I think these battles are meant to be contained. So they go into battle, and whoever dies, but like I think that in that aspect, nobody was to touch the child. No, you don't hurt the kids.
Yeah, because
Right, but he was the only kid out there. Why wouldn't he leave him in there with the other kids?
I don't know. I think that
But if you realize the kids were all watching the fight.
And also, I think that he was a leader, so he had to lead by a certain example. And I could see him being like, "Listen, son, this could be you one day. So
Yeah.
you
And
need
also,
predisposed, exposure, things like that."
At the
I
end of
guess.
what he
was
was
probably
saying,
going
he was
for.
saying, "Don't look away."
Right.
And
Oh,
then-
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and then also, I do think it's funny that there are no cops that tried to stop the gang fight in the middle of the town.
Why would they?
No.
They would get hurt.
Because that's again not the point.
I know.
But you have to put like a real life situation in these movies. Yeah, okay, that's for the movie, but in real life, I'm sorry, I think there would be some cops that'd be
Not
like, "Hey,
back
let's
then.
not do."
Not back then.
Back then, they were like, "No, I'm not dying."
But then again, how do you know that?
There's a lot of historical stuff about the 5 points. And
Actually, yeah, I did see that a lot. I did see a thing because I watched some of the things.
yeah,
in the
like
movie
it's
where
very very accurate.
But still, it's just funny that there are no cops there.
I did-
because you don't even see cops.
Well, a lot of the cops are already paid off.
Yeah.
And the ones that aren't paid off are too scared.
I did mention that. So this movie was so long, and there's so much going on within the movie that it's another one of those movies that would just have been a better series. Like even if it was just a short series, like a
I could see where it could be a movie that could spawn a series. And isn't it supposed
no,
to
I
be
mean just like a
becoming
series in general.
I don't know. I think it works great as a movie. I mean, it sucks that it's so long.
I think
but
they
I think
they
it
just
does fine
crammed
as a movie.
I think they just crammed too much in there that I don't feel was really necessary.
I think it's long enough that they fleshed everything out enough. You know
Well, what
I
I'm
mean?
saying is like, yeah, but it's also hard to follow all that. There was a lot going on within the context. Like there's, you got the gangs, you got the different gangs. That in itself, just the gangs themselves could make their own series.
Yeah, they are making
So-
a series though, so they can flesh that stuff out a little.
So
more, yeah.
also though, you had the political side, the cops,
You know,
the
one thing I didn't understand
all
about-
that stuff, the Irish coming off the boats, the immigration issues, all that stuff.
I'm sure they're going to
crammed
flesh
into
all that
one
stuff
movie.
out a lot because they are going to make a series. I did read about that.
One thing I kind of wonder about is with the guy who, what was he, like the mayor?
I don't know what he's not the mayor.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that.
He was
either.
some
Like,
kind
it
of
was
he
a
was
weird-
some kind of politician.
Okay, but
Yeah.
what's with all the birds?
I don't know.
Why so many birds?
I don't know. I bet that room stank.
Why is
Oh,
your
yeah.
whole office just full of different breeds of birds? Like, it doesn't-
Maybe he liked birds. I mean, some people like cats, some people like dogs. Some people
Yeah,
like,
but
I don't
at
know,
a
but-
certain point, you're going to be like, well,
It is getting kind of
I
loud
got
in
too many
here.
birds.
Well, and who cleans all those cages? Because I'm telling
Not
you,
him.
birds are stinky. If you don't clean those cages, and I'm
Probably
telling you, you
that
got to
little
clean
guy
them a
that-
lot.
Probably that little guy that followed him around.
I don't know. My grandma used to raise pigeons, so they, and I mean, it was definitely a hobby for them.
You know the fire department part where they got there and they fought?
Yeah,
I read that was true.
yeah,
That fire departments would actually do that.
Fight over a burning
Fight
fire.
over a fire.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's all historical. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the historical stuff was real.
I could believe
thought
that. I
was-
believe that a
thought
lot of this
I
is
thought
probably
that was
accurate.
cool how I watched that
He
and
was.
it said a lot of it
I mean,
was real.
it's Martin Scorsese. He's pretty particular.
Yeah, he's very
not,
particular.
He doesn't let a lot of things go. I had to kind of laugh though because like Bill the Butcher, like, I mean, obviously it's going to be accurate and everything, but like, I was totally thrown off by his accent because I'm like,
It's
so
very American.
Is this the first Brooklyn accent? Like,
Yeah,
did
it's very American.
Did he originate the
Yeah.
Brooklyn accent? Because that's
Yeah.
exactly what he sounds like.
Yeah.
He sounds like a mobster,
And for
but
Daniel
like a
Day
modern
Lewis.
day mobster.
See the thing about Daniel Day Lewis is he 100%
Well,
takes on the character that he.
Oh yeah,
portrays.
yeah, absolutely.
Right down to their voice. I watched a
from
video
what
on
I
him.
heard, he came back. Like, I guess he retired and came back to do this movie.
Well, he did a few others
then he
after this.
became-
He's
he-
done that a few times. He says
Yeah,
he's retired,
that's
and
what
then
I'm
he
saying.
comes
is
back and he,
it was one of the ones where he's, I'm done, and then he came back, and then
I don't think he
just
even got
kept-
as big as he did until after he did this movie.
oh
Like-
yeah,
like he was still a good actor, but Like one thing that
He
I
did
watched.
Lincoln after this movie. It was
He
like-
also did. He did There Will Be Blood first before Lincoln.
I know. I'm just saying, like he did Lincoln
Yeah.
after this movie.
It was funny because that was one of the things. Like you saw him throw that knife into Lincoln's forehead. I'm like, dude, you play him.
I know. I thought the same thing.
So, but he's one of them actors that like I watched a video on him and they're like that he changes everything about himself right down to the tone of his voice, his breathing,
He's
everything.
what they call it, a method actor.
Very, very method.
You know, I heard that they said that that guy who played Dahmer.
Oh,
in the
Evan
recent show?
Peters.
Evan Peters, yeah.
He's a method actor too.
I seen
Yeah.
a thing where they said he, like, basically to do that role, he like played out like being Jeffrey Dahmer for a while, and the thing said how. Like,
Yeah,
how
right.
did he do that? Like,
Well, he had to have a what do they call them? A psych.
evaluation.
No, like a psych person on scene with him at all times to make sure he doesn't lose himself.
Yeah.
So he wasn't losing his shit. So they constantly was like trying to remind him, think of, you know what I mean? So to try to keep him from
just thought it
diving
was
too
funny
deep
'cause,
into
like,
it.
Like he took on Jeffrey Dahmer completely because he's a method actor, and that's what they did. And
I
then
see-
this
I
guy
see-
was like, "How?"
Yeah, I saw the same thing. Like where there was this. It was an article, and then like there was a comment section, and somebody was like, how?" I know exactly what you're talking about.
But anyway, so the scene where you see the immigrants getting off the boat, and then they're pushing them like, "Oh, go fight for your country," and the
Yeah.
next thing, then it shows
Yeah.
that progression. Just it was way too surreal. You know what I mean? Like you had them getting off the boat, like, oh, then they were pushing them in the. You want to fight for you want to vote and fight for your country? You got to go. Join the army. Push them into these uniforms. Push them into their this and that.
Yeah.
Putting guns in their hands and then right back on another boat.
I put that on here. Fight
Yeah.
for the country you just got to.
Yeah. So it's crazy, and then it even
Well-
segues to them carrying
The
corpses and
the
coffins
corpses,
off
yeah.
of that same boat
Yep.
that they were getting piling
Also-
onto.
And I thought that it was very interesting how well that they played out, and it was so almost you didn't catch it about how you can buy your way out of the draft, right? They just say it so nonchalantly, you almost don't even think about it, and that's what actually started the riots. Was that you could
only
buy
the
your
rich
way
people-
out,
but you had to
but
be
only
rich.
the rich people could do it.
Because
Well,
$300
he
back then was a
even-
lot of
he
money.
It's like $6,000 today's
Yeah.
money.
He even says that. It's like, who's got $300?
Right, but they almost play it so off so
Yeah.
nonchalantly, and it ends up becoming a huge
Yeah.
arc to the movie.
And also, it's so funny because like seeing that scene of them going from getting off the boat, getting onto the boat, and then it reminded me of like cattle just and
Yeah,
going into a
absolutely.
grinder
Absolutely.
into a meat grinder,
Mhm.
and then coming out as
Yeah, and the-
your
and the sad
processed
thing
meat.
about those
And what's it
guys
all
is-
good for? You know what I mean?
Is-
Essentially,
These
Yeah.
guys are coming off of a boat to get away from the famine because it was during the potato famine.
Right.
So they're starving. They're getting here and they're going into a battle, and they don't even know what they're fighting for
Right.
because they haven't been told what they're fighting for.
They haven't been here long enough to know what
Yeah,
the
also,
conflict is.
Before that, there was a boxing. Is 75 rounds a lot?
for them
Depends
back
on-
then, probably.
Yeah, it depends
Like,
A
on-
lot of them,
How-
I believe, they were all musket loaders back
yeah,
then.
musket loader, I would say yes, because you would have
Yeah.
to you have to
No,
That's-
I'm
manually
talking-
load that.
No, remember there's a boxing scene. Do you guys remember
yeah,
the
the
boxing
boxing scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he says that at the end when he goes, winner by a knockout, 75 round
Oh,
75.
75. Oh, Jesus.
Is that
yeah,
a lot? That's
holy-
a lot of
That is a
rounds.
lot of
Yeah.
rounds. Yeah, that is a lot. Of rounds.
Sorry, you said 75 rounds. My mind went to bullets.
I was like, yeah, bullets. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because well, it was kind of just change the thing. But I
75
just went,
rounds.
75
Jesus, I would be on the
rounds.
ground.
That's
just
what I was saying.
breathing
I
heavy.
remember them
I thought,
saying
like,
that. I'm like, oh
boxing
my
goes to,
god.
like 10 rounds and then you're done. Like
75?
I don't think it's 10.
Maybe it is because I think
I want to
or
say
maybe
it's
it just counts
15.
in 10.
maybe it is.
I think
don't
it's
know.
15
I
or
don't
something. I don't
watch
remember,
boxing,
but I know
so I don't
75 is an
75.
outrageous
I'd be
amount.
down on the ground just
Yeah,
breathing heavy.
there's no way somebody's
I
lasting
can't
that long.
swing anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
done.
like all the blood after they said 75 rounds, like all the blood made sense. You've been beating each other.
I mean, my God. At some point, somebody just call it. Like, because after like round 15, they're just like this. Like, there's no.
And the funny thing about
Not
the
to
guys,
mention, you think that the crowd would just be bored.
I mean, my God. Like,
and then at the end, they're not even like muscular dudes.
Yeah, one's like very much overweight.
like at the end, were they just poking each other? Like,
Yeah.
there's
The one guy looks like he's one bacon strip away from a heart attack. So
oh my God.
Also, in the opium den, the tree coming down on the bar was cool. I liked that. Remember when they were in the little thing, and then he goes to the bar, the tree coming down, the tree roots coming down on the bar.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
it is neat. I did like how all of the sets certainly looked like they were sort of like coming apart, but in
the fact that they lived underground too.
Yeah,
I've always liked the idea of living underground in a cave type thing. But also, for Bill being racist, he really liked opium dens and Asian theater.
Well, that's kind of like what racists are. They're so hypocritical.
I was gonna say, a lot of racists aren't as racist as you think they are.
Well, they are, but they're hypocritical.
Yeah,
That's the
like
problem.
you're talking about a dude who'll say the N-word all day, but then he's like, man, Rihanna's hot though.
Right, right.
What, dude?
That's today, but back.
But that's today's equivalent to what you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if his racism was more just towards black people.
His racism, I think, was anybody who wasn't American.
Yeah, anybody he considered not to be American.
That's what it was too. He wasn't racist against blacks or anything.
Yeah,
he hated everybody who wasn't. He hated anything.
Born in America,
yeah.
He didn't give a shit.
He hated everybody who wasn't, as they are called, nationalists. So native. Yeah, native.
That's what they go.
And he even explains what a native is to him. A native is somebody who believes and fights for their country
and is willing to
die for it.
Yeah, he's calling all those Irish that come off the boats.
Yeah, he was calling. Yeah, I don't know what he was calling them, but
he was calling them. I forget what the Irish. He was calling them the name that there's a racial slang for Irish.
He's
potato eaters.
Yeah,
potato eaters.
That he was calling them all the N-word too. So I don't know. I think he was confused as
I don't think that his definition was very fitting though, because like Matt said, I mean, these people were going off and fighting for the country and dying for it, and he wasn't giving them any respect either.
And he could also the age he could have went and fought in the army. He was only 45.
Yeah, he was just a hypocrite.
47.
Was he 47?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was 45.
He's just a hypocrite.
Yeah, he's a hypocrite. He's a gangster,
all
dude. Like
racists are hypocrites.
But yeah. But also I can understand that. I think Asian women are pretty. I don't know what it is about Asian women. There's something that just also I just think they're pretty. But also the only time a man
some are. I'm not gonna say all are.
Well, I also like the Asian culture. I think it's neat.
Oh,
I think the Japanese culture is extremely, especially the older Japanese culture is very interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
and I love the whole aesthetic and everything about it.
So. The whole family bond that they got is that they take care of their older generations and they respect their older generations. I really
generation
like that
after
too.
generation.
I wish Americans still saw it that way.
But also, the only time a man bun is okay is if you're going into battle. Because
I was waiting for you to say "fight me" because you crossed your arms like that's the only time a man bun is okay. Fight me.
Well, that is because they show that part where he's got that leather wrapped in it. And the only time a man bun is okay is when you're going into battle.
Unless you're Jason Momoa, then I think you can probably get away with it anytime.
Yeah, but it's like
agree.
when somebody said, with Jason Momoa, it's like the thing that they say about Hulk Hogan. Fanny packs look dumb. You're not going to tell Hulk Hogan that.
You had a point.
That's also very fair.
Yeah,
I'm not telling Hulk Hogan
tell
that.
Jason Momoa.
I think if you told Jason Momoa that you didn't like his man bun, he'd be like, "That's cool, man."
Yeah,
I don't think he would
really
care.
Not care.
I don't think he would give a shit. Like, that's cool, man. Like, I don't think balding guys are very cool either. So.
Hey, you know what I got to say about that is I was watching a thing. I was watching them do a thing for Hitman.
Yeah.
And the guy hung a picture on his wall that says "Fortune favors the bald," and it made me remember my favorite thing that I've ever heard about baldness is God made so many perfect heads that the rest he covered with hair.
That's funny. I'm always
Coming from a bald guy.
I'm always kind of blown away when I see John C. Reilly in a serious role. And it always catches me off guard how
the
good
guy who
he
played
is.
the sheriff.
Yeah, because at the very beginning of the movie, I was like, "That's John C. Reilly. Like, he's got to have a comedic role, right?" I'm like, as they go on, I'm like, he's not. He's not comedic at all.
Have you ever seen We Have to Talk About Kevin?
No.
That was, I think, the first serious role I ever saw him in.
The funny thing is,
oh my god!
when I picked that, I remembered he's in that movie, and I wondered who was going to be the first one who said something.
Well, I've seen him in serious roles before, but every time I see him, I'm always kind of taken aback at how good he is.
I don't like.
He can be a very good actor.
Yeah.
I don't like his comedic roles. I don't think he's funny.
Oh, I think he's hilarious.
Oh, I do too.
I think he's hilarious.
Every time I've seen him,
But I also know that he
Will
can
Ferrell,
be
I
a
like
good
Will Ferrell.
actor
Step
too.
Brothers is fucking hilarious.
Dude, that fucking movie's epic as shit.
That movie was dumb.
That's what I'm picking for Christmas. That's gonna be my Christmas present to me.
That's my Christmas present is going to be not watching it.
Managed to stay here through the whole podcast. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it.
Jed tried to get me to watch
That
Step
movie
Brothers,
is funny
and I was
as
like 5
shit.
seconds in, and I was like, no, this is retarded.
So, I thought the pacing was a little poor in this movie. I thought that it was like, so it would race through a certain scenario or like a certain
Yeah, and then,
part of the movie, and then it would just slow the fuck down,
yeah.
and then it would like speed back up or just run through some important plot point real fast and then slow back down. And I'm just like, why couldn't we just stick with that and then cut this out, or you know what I mean? Like, and this is what I said. I think that they should have shaved.
Some
they
of
could
the
have easily,
pacing felt off.
yeah. So they could have shaved some time off this movie, especially towards the end. Like the end, it really just started to drag because like
Yeah.
the part pretty much after Amsterdam, Leo, he is found out by Bill the Butcher that he's trying to kill him or whatever. And so I understand that slow pacing point right there with him, recouping and building it up.
Yep.
But then it gets like ridiculous. Like they keep dragging it out for like a good almost an hour of the movie is that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, they could have shaved some of this. Like some of this stuff is just not necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot, like especially after he becomes an established gang himself.
Yeah.
The Dead Rabbits.
Yeah, they essentially just keep going and building that up, and then like they make the one guy a sheriff. He gets voted in as sheriff, and then instantly kill him off, which I thought was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I was like, what a waste of time that was.
Yeah.
Like what a complete waste of time.
It's more played for a plot point.
I understand that, but make it more of a center point then.
Sure.
I think that point was done more to show you like that Bill the Butcher just did not care.
I understand that, but but bring that home or make it more, because that dude was an important person of the movie.
He was,
and they made his death like it was just nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it was nothing. Like, oh, he gets fucking fucking
like,
butcher knife.
I guess I understand what you're saying. Is like they took certain parts and they fleshed all of these parts out that didn't quite need to be fleshed out, and then other parts that you felt needed to be fleshed out a little bit more, maybe needed, that should have been fleshed out.
Exactly. Like they were like, and I also find it hard to believe that he was just gung ho about being sheriff after being silent and keeping to himself for 16 years.
No, because he said something to Bill the Butcher.
What?
He said something to Bill the Butcher because the one time when the sheriff hangs his watch on there and he says nobody will take it, he says to Bill the Butcher, he says, you think if I hung my watch up there, somebody would take it? And then he says, maybe one day. That's right there. It tells me he wants to be something more. And he wants
to do more.
Yeah, I think the reason he sat silent for so long was because there was no
one to back him.
No one to back him. There wasn't enough change happening and not enough people behind him.
Right.
And if there was going to be a rally of people behind him, then he's willing to stand up. But
I just hate it because he could have been more of that. Like, he could have been so much more of a how do I put
you wanted him to
like
be more
father
of a central,
figure. Like a central father figure to Amsterdam, because that's what he should have been. Because he held no loyalties to any gang to begin with.
He was a mercenary.
He was more of a mercenary. I think it was more of survival for him in that area.
Yeah.
And so for him, after 16 years, like he could have been that, like, you know, mentor in the shadows for Amsterdam to kind of show him a little bit more and be there more for him.
Sure.
Instead of just killing him off like he was a fucking side character, like he didn't mean nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whenever really they could have made him seem like they could have made him to mean a lot more to Amsterdam and the fucking overall story.
Right.
Kind of like, you know, Obi-Wan and Luke, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit like that.
I agree with you, and I think what they could have taken and shortened quite a bit is like what Matt said. They could have shortened the amount of time that Amsterdam spent with Bill.
Yeah, because they did that was
fleshed
a big
that out
part.
so much.
and then for them just to like throw it away so quickly.
Right.
Like that whole scene with him and the knife, they did not build that tension up hardly at all.
No.
And that really just killed that scene. I'm like, they could have done this so much better. Don't get me wrong, the part where he gets him on the fucking table, that was pretty like gut wrenching a little bit. But like,
I have a kind of a problem with all of that though, because he built that up so much, you know, to say like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna let him live, but I'm gonna scar him, and he's gonna be shamed, and he's gonna be this, and he's gonna be that. You literally left him with like this,
yeah, a little
like
burn
just
on
this
his face.
little burn on his face. What's to shame him about that? What's
Yeah.
to scar? I did not feel like that was.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. Like
You're-
if you really want
You're
to shame
Bill the fucking butcher. You just fucking killed a sheriff in front of, you know, an entire town. That was one thing that you've done. You've done all these horrible things. You killed his father in front of his entire gang. You basically, you know, made it so that nobody could say that gang's
But this
name
kid, he just
for
gets a
all
little,
these 30
gets
days.
a little burn on his face after all he's done.
Yeah, and then you're gonna make it. I'm gonna scar him. Like
Well,
scar to me.
I think
like,
some of
shame.
that though is also payback for saving his life.
Yeah, I think the reason also.
So-
now
I mean,
that
I can
figure
see
it
that
probably
as
wasn't
being
bad
something.
because
But
he did kind of
I
save
mean-
Bill.
But they
Sure.
didn't make that apparent
But-
though either.
Okay, sure. I mean, I'm even taking that into consideration. His scar is this little small place on his face. I can't believe that, even though he saved his life. Like, why isn't it like his whole cheeks or like, you know what I mean? Something that's gonna stand out.
Cut out his eye.
Yeah, cut out his
Something, yeah.
eye. Something that's gonna stand out and make it known he, you know, screwed over Bill the Butcher. You know, everybody can look at him and go, "Oh, that's the dude. That's the guy." I'm gonna look at the
Like,
one. You know,
he
I'm
could
gonna
have carved something on
yeah,
him or
something. I
like
mean,
that.
you
Yeah,
can't,
and-
you
yeah,
can't just put like a little dot on the dude's face and everybody's gonna be like, "Is that the guy?" I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I can't quite
And so
tell.
he healed up quite well.
Yeah, I can't quite tell. I'm not sure.
Well, also the way it healed, it doesn't.
That
look
was
like a
probably
burn.
my biggest problem with the movie. Was like, you know, they built this up so much. They got him on that table, and I'm like, oh shit,
It seems it kind of
Leo's
felt
about
like
to get fucked
it
up.
kind of felt like that whole tension building thing with him and Bill, like them, you know, him going under Bill's wing, this and that. It seemed like that was like the main focal point, and then after that, they just kind of like the
They didn't know
writing
what to
team,
do.
and they didn't know really, yeah, they didn't know what exactly where to go with it from there.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't. It seemed like they didn't want to follow old tropes. They wanted to do something different,
Sure.
but at the same time, their execution was poor because they didn't really. After that, it just didn't really go anywhere. Not
It didn't
anywhere.
feel like the same movie.
It didn't feel
anymore.
like the same movie. It kind of went like some parts of it after that were rushed. Other parts were way too fucking drug out. And then it just kind of felt like it was just because everything up until that point was great. It was a good movie. It was
sure.
good. It was building up well and all that stuff. Like you didn't know. It almost got to the point where you didn't know where Leo's character stood.
Yeah, I did have that moment too, where I was like, is he still
Could
planning
he
to kill
turn?
this guy?
Yeah. Does he want to turn coat?
Yeah, is he still planning to
Yeah.
kill this guy or what? Yeah.
Does anybody else think that when I watched it, I watched it a while before this again too. And I really like the name Dead Rabbits for like a gang name.
I thought it was a weird gang name. I'm like, I want to know where the gang name came from.
I
Like-
can explain that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did they have a part? Where
I
we
can
tell?
explain that.
Because actually, from what I've heard, there was a real gang called the Dead Rabbits,
There
and it
was.
was an Irish gang.
There was, and it was.
What about
All of the gang names actually were
Oh, were they all
based
real?
on
I
real
believe
gangs.
that.
Yeah.
See, I watched a little bit of the thing at the end that tells you about it, tells you about the 5 points and stuff, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
I only knew about 5 points just because I did some research on it for a paper I wrote one time.
Oh.
So I knew a little bit going into this movie about it. But yeah.
Like, I've seen a picture of the real Bill the Butcher.
So I just wanted to know why John lived as long as he did.
Yeah.
His friend that pretty much ratted him out.
Yeah. That was so fun.
So, and then he even he felt no, he took him right back, you know what I mean? Like as his friend and everything, let him come back into his gang.
But he didn't know. When he did tell him, he was like, "You need to leave and never."
He said
you need to leave and I never want to see you.
Oh,
Before
yeah.
He said,
Yeah,
I
you're
have
right.
to kill you. And then he told him, no, you leave, you never come back.
That's right. I guess that's right.
And
yeah,
on
I
his
guess
way
he
out
didn't
of
know
town
until
was
then.
because
Yeah,
he said
Bill
I was the
grabbed
one
him
that
Yeah, that ratted you out or whatever. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I guess he wouldn't have known who it was.
Because I don't think when he ratted him out, I don't think he was going to, I don't think he thought Bill was going to go as bad as he did.
Oh, come on. How could he not have
how
known?
could he have not known?
He wasn't that smart of a guy, though.
That's true,
Oh,
but
he was
He was
smart
also-
enough.
he was
more wrapped
just
up in, I'm going to get rid of him, so I have her. Also, I
No,
don't think he
that's
thought
the
Bill
only
wa-
thing he was thinking of. He knew what Bill was
Yeah, he
capable
knew
of.
what
Yes,
Bill
he
would
knew
do.
better than anybody.
But
what Bill
part
was
of me,
capable
I also
of.
think that he thought Bill was going to kill him. He wasn't going to let him live.
that's
And
what we're saying.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah.
Well, no, because then...
I'd rather have a scar than death.
I mean, yeah, if I thought somebody was going to kill my friend versus scarring them, I'd give him a heads up. Be like, hey, I'm going to tell on you. Come on.
Give me the lady. Let me have the lady, or I'm going to narc you out.
Come on.
That's what I think he was doing, though, is he was saying, oh, I'll get him killed, and then I won't feel as bad.
I would feel worse if my friend got killed.
That's not
Oh my
the point of the... What I'm saying, though, is
I
that's
get
not
what
how the
you're
guy
saying,
thinks.
I
The guy
guess.
was more wrapped up in the woman that didn't care about him. Or she didn't love him, but she cared about him, because at the one point, she even told him, I think you need to go home. When he was...
Well, yeah, she was... I'm just trying to protect him, but...
Yeah.
You know.
I don't think she loved him. I think she thought of him
Well, of
more as
course
like
not.
a brother or something.
Right.
The old brother thing.
I dated
This
a
movie,
girl that
I want to.
She felt like a brother. Some guy that wanted to date her. When I was dating her, she said felt like a brother. Came back from Michigan, found out that she had basically dated him and ended up having a kid with him.
That's a weird brother-sister relationship.
Yeah, that's why I thought. But
What?
I dated a girl. I dated a girl in high school, and
And you find out she was your sister?
No.
No.
So I walked into halfway through that conversation.
I dated a girl, and we had a friend named Sam, and Sam wanted to date her, but she was with me, and she also told Sam and me that Sam felt more like a brother. Came back from Michigan, and she had been dating Sam, and she ended up having a kid with him.
But they're brother and sister?
No,
No,
she told him
that she felt
she-
like a
that
he
she
felt
thought of him like a brother.
Oh, I bet that was weird sex.
That's what I said.
So this movie is very much of, and you realize this at the end mostly, that it's the rich controlling the poor, which
Yeah.
obviously happens
That
all
that
the
was the
time.
most intriguing thing for
Yeah.
me was because
because they were essentially pulling all these strings.
yeah, and
with-
it was played so much in the background almost that
you didn't realize
that
it.
you didn't realize
Yeah.
it, and then it becomes such a big plot point there at the end
That's and
that
the
I
funny
was
thing
like
is
I was
still-
sort of taken aback by it. I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
And
that's happening.
it was still very subtle though. Like it was subtle enough that if you weren't paying attention to the movie, you're not going to realize it.
right. And-
So, but it was something I caught. I was like, "Holy shit! This is actually just these fucking mustache twirling pieces of shit playing pool. They're all the ones controlling all this bullshit."
Right.
Well, they're also. It's just like today. It's the same thing.
No, it's the same thing every. Yeah.
Yeah, like
All through
nowadays you
history.
got you got these you got the LGBT community think that they're going around, oh, we're making changes. No, you're not. You're not making changes.
That's somebody just pulling
rich
strings,
people
man.
are pulling your strings, making you pandering to you, making you think you're doing something when you're doing the total opposite of what you.
they'll let you
are
go as
trying
far
to.
as
Far as they
They'll let
allow
you
it,
go as far
whatever
as they want you
whatever
to.
benefits them and whatever fills their pockets.
Yeah.
not to
That's-
get too
yeah.
political, but just as like BLM, they let them go as far as
Yeah.
And like I've said, it doesn't matter Republican.
If you don't believe us,
Democrat-
watch the Candace Owens documentary.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what side you want, Republican, Democrat, they're all doing the same thing. It's either there's very few of them that are actually there to help.
Yep, they're all there to
the
fill
only thing
pockets.
that runs
pockets.
the only thing that runs this country is money.
That's right. And who has the money?
Not
The
me.
rich,
No.
Yep.
The
the
Illuminati.
rich, not us.
I believe in the Illuminati. Don't laugh at me.
No, I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing about that. It's crazy because I'm laughing at the subtlety in this movie that you don't catch on to that being such a big plot point. The money, right? You don't catch on to that being such a big thing, that the rich people are pandering to these poor people and playing this game. You don't catch on to it until the fucking riot. The riot happens, and then you're going, oh shit, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
I remember all of these things.
The riot really drives a lot of these plot points home.
Right.
Because, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I think the riot is very abrupt.
Right.
And I think it's very much something that kind of kills the end of the movie for me. Because we wanted that fight between Billy the Butcher and Amsterdam.
And then they do it all by just blowing off cannons.
And then they just blow off
And
cannons.
it was so almost unclimactic.
It was
how
very
kills
anticlimactic.
Bill.
Yeah.
But did you also notice that what it kind of shows there is that they were helping each other, not Bill in Amsterdam, but if you look when they're pulling people out of the cans and stuff, they're helping each other.
Oh, all the gangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I almost kind of lost it a little bit. Like, I don't really get emotional in movies and stuff, but like when that the black guy that was in the Dead Rabbits.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
I was like, no, you
What did he
motherfuckers
do?
get the fuck away from him.
Yeah, I was like, what'd that guy do? He didn't even get a chance to fight in the fucking
No.
game.
He was black. That's what it was.
I
I know,
know,
but
but
why didn't he stay in the 5 points? Why
Yeah,
what
why
the
was he
hell
out
doing
wandering
there?
around, dude?
That, you know, I watched the movie and I liked the guy.
Yeah,
I do.
what the hell
But
was he doing
my
there?
whole thing with that was, why is he in the 5 points? He knows that there's going to be a fight. Why is he?
why is
That's what I
even
say.
why is
What
he
the
out
fuck is he
wandering
doing
around?
over there when he's supposed to be over here?
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Like, was he just on his way to the gang thing, or
Like, did he go to get a
like,
gallon
hold
of
on,
milk
guys,
and
you
get
can't
lost?
kill me
Like,
right now. I
dude,
got a
don't.
gang meeting. Like, fuck, dude. Like, what were you
Oh.
doing out? Like,
When
your
he
whole
walked
gang's
out
in
and
one
I seen
place.
that gang, like that bunch of people, I'm like, nuh-uh.
I was like, right.
Oh, that made me so
Yeah, that
sad.
was dumb.
Also, the guy, I need something cleared up for me. The guy who goes, "There's a in your church." Did they
Oh.
kill him?
No. They beat his ass.
Yeah,
Because I don't
they
remember
beat
seeing
shit
him.
Beat
out
the
of
fuck out of him.
Yeah.
I don't remember
The next
seeing him
time
again,
you
so I
see
didn't-
He
him-
did. He gets shot. He gets shot down in the streets.
he does.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Because
Yeah, the next
he's
time-
running towards us. Okay.
Yeah, like a
My bad,
jackass for whatever
I
reason.
I forgot that he was at that
Remember
part.
the next time you see him, he's all bandaged
He's all
up and
bandaged up.
shit.
Yeah, they beat his ass.
Yeah, they beat the fuck
Okay,
out of him.
yeah, I forgot about the point where he's running towards the soldiers and they shoot him.
Yeah. Yeah, he got his
I hated that fucking guy because he seemed like a cool dude at the beginning with Liam Neeson and shit. He's like,
Yeah.
tying his shoes and he gives you that little nod, like, "What's up, dude?"
Yeah, like, I don't
And then
get
you see him
that.
again. He's like this,
Shoes.
whatever he was doing.
He was sharpening the
Yeah,
points.
that's
with
what
his
yeah.
shoes.
I don't like, what the fuck? All of those people loyalty to Liam
Yeah.
Neeson, and then they like just flip the switch.
Oh yeah.
No, it's because they killed Lee. What I think it is I think what it was is when the leader dies, it's over.
Yeah, but there's other gangs you can join. That was obviously very clear.
Yeah, well, because they outlawed the
Why
Dead
would you-
Rabbits.
why
Why didn't
would
they
you-
just join another gang?
Yeah, why
or-
would you pick the one that killed the
Oh,
one you were
yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah,
loyal
'cause-
to? You pick that guy?
He's the only one that does it, I do believe.
No, because I mean,
No, the
John C.
sheriff,
Riley,
yeah.
he was like a
He becomes
cop.
a fucking sheriff.
Oh well, that guy just turned completely. I think he turned against everybody.
Well, he's a cop getting paid by fucking Bill the
Yeah, getting
Butcher.
paid by the
Well,
street.
everybody was paying Bill the Butcher, so it didn't.
No, Bill the Butcher was paying him.
Oh well,
Because
He's
either
on
way.
his
he's a cop.
payroll. Yeah.
But but what I'm saying though is not. If you actually look, he actually tells you a lot of the people from the Dead Rabbits don't join other gangs. They end up doing their own thing, like Hellcat.
Sure, and I get that, but like these motherfuckers, how can you be so loyal to somebody? I just don't understand that. How can you have the same?
It's probably the threat of death.
Well, they are gang members.
I die.
They are. Gang
I don't think.
members.
Also, I don't think gangs are as loyal as
Yeah.
people like to make them out. Because I've watched a lot of gang documentaries, and if you actually pay attention to them, they're not loyal.
They're gonna do whatever they have to survive.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I'm just saying, like based on the way that these gangs were played out, like
They were real family.
yeah, like and these gangs had purpose. There was a reason that they were. It's not because you're living in the hood and you want somebody's hubcaps. This
Right.
was survival.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like if you're loyal to somebody because they kept you alive or they kept your family safe or whatever, and then you're just gonna go, oh hey, my dude's dead, so hey Bill, what's up? I don't get that. I don't understand it.
Well, I don't even understand why Bill took the guy in to begin with. He wasn't.
Yeah, he was a.
He wasn't native. Bill shouldn't even consider.
Well, we've already established that Bill doesn't give a shit really about that. He's a.
It's
he's
all
a
about
hypocrite.
the money. It's all about that money coming in.
Yeah, he's a hypocrite.
That's pretty much all I got.
Me too.
It's pretty much touched on everything I wanted to touch on.
So, doing reviews then.
On to reviews.
On to reviews. Do you want to do the Rotten Tomato thing first, or
I usually get our reviews first and then do the Rotten Tomato thing.
well, I'm gonna go first because I'm the hostess.
you notice whenever we host, we're like we let everybody else go first before ourselves. He's always like, I'm going first.
That's fine.
Well,
it's his show.
I mean, I don't care. I just think it's funny.
It's because I'm the hostess with the mostest. But anyways, I gave the movie a 7.5, and I was really close to an 8. Like if it was like points, it'd be like 7.95. And it's just because like I like the time point. I like the movies just catching. I like a lot of the. Also, I don't know what it is, but the style that they dressed in back then, I like that too because it was always fancy. It was always like, even if it wasn't like the greatest clothes, it was still dress pants and a vest.
Yeah.
And I think that's neat because people don't do that anymore.
Sure, yeah.
I did love the top hats.
Yeah, the top hats were cool. But yeah, it's just, it's the time period and stuff really grabs me. And then the whole story and the fact that it is based on true stuff with like the locations and stuff. And like Karen said, the locations were just cool. The way they made all the places, like I've always
The set
wanted to live in a
designs.
cave. The living in a cave thing was cool. And just like a lot, yeah, the set designs were amazing. Like the one thing where they had all the different floors.
Them streets had to be. There's no way that some of them street scenes were set builds. Like they had to have been actual places. Of
They
some kind.
they were set builds.
All of them?
Yeah, they were set builds. Because there was a piece of trivia I didn't write down because it was like ridiculously long, so I'll just go from memory. But it was essentially all of them were set builds. They were huge, obviously, but I believe it was it was another director, a famous one, James Cameron maybe, came to visit and basically told Martin Scorsese, you know, you can do this with CGI now. Basically kind of like slapped his hand for building such elaborate sets.
I would have. I like the build.
That's the sad part. That just goes to show where James Cameron's going.
I like the fact that he built the sets for.
I agree.
Because that makes more sense. Because you can tell sometimes when CGI, even if it's real good CGI, you can tell it's CGI.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm kind of like with you, Joseph. The practical effects are the best.
Yeah, for sure. I love practical
Like that's what I
effects.
like.
too.
That's what I like
That,
about.
that just goes to show that you put actual hard work and love
It
into it.
shows.
It shows exactly.
Like one of the things that I liked about Underworld when it came out is that those were people in costumes.
Yeah,
Those
Yeah.
or people in stilts and stuff. They
Yeah.
weren't CGI.
and it was awesome. They look good too.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about that. But yeah, I like I said, 7.5, real close to 8, because yeah, I just liked the setting. I thought the story was good, and I have a thing.
George Lucas. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
That's even worse.
that explains a lot.
But I also have a thing. I like learning about gangs, and these kind of gangs are a lot more interesting because, like Karen said, these gangs did it because it was survival, not because.
There was a lot more. There was a lot more politics involved with these
Yeah.
gangs, whereas with gangs nowadays and shit, it's just I'm going to kill you because you're on my turf or over drugs or whatever. Back then, everybody that these gang fights and things like that,
It was all about
stabbings,
money
It was
then.
not just about money, but it was also about power, control, respect, and who can have what, and you know what I mean. Like
Well,
it was
see,
all about control back then.
I also like the fact that
It was a lot different
also
than it is
with this,
nowadays.
I like the fact that when Leo goes, I'll let you pick the weapons, and then he goes through all these weapons and he says guns, and Leo goes no guns, and he
No
goes,
guns.
good boy.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that because screw guns, man.
Well, they saw it as a cop out. I think
Yeah.
that guns are a cop out. So, I like that they were like more hand to hand combat,
Yeah.
bricks, bats, knives. We can do
Chains, all
that.
that,
Chains,
yeah.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
Well, not to mention back then guns were a lot less handy. I mean,
Yeah, they weren't near as
like
handy.
they only had
Yeah.
one shot.
yeah, they
Like,
had musket loaders and shit like that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, like I said, just the time period and stuff is really what makes the movie for me. And yeah, like when I was young, I saw this movie and I was like, it's not bad, which was weird because I wasn't into movies like that. But now, for some odd reason, I got older and I got really into like the older
Your taste.
times.
Sure.
Your
yeah.
taste will mature. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I just really like. That's why I like it. If you don't like a movie now, go back into it in like 10 years and see if your taste changes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I need to rewatch Drive. I hated it the first time I watched it.
I didn't like it much either the first time. That's the only time I've ever watched
I
it.
should watch it again.
And I heard like everybody was like, "Oh man, that movie's so amazing." Blah blah. Blah. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I just need to rewatch it.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, because like when Gangs of New York came out, I thought it was a good movie, but I never would have seen myself watching it again. Now it's like I will say it's probably one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's go next, Joseph.
I would say I loved a lot of things about the movie. It had some things that I didn't care for. The ending was anticlimactic.
The ending could have been a lot
Yeah, I just mostly between Billy the Butcher and Amsterdam. I think that could have been a whole lot more than it was, even if it was maybe supposed to be somewhat accurate or whatever. Still make it. It's still a movie. You know what I mean? I want to see we've been waiting for this for fucking 2.5 hours. I want to see these two go at it.
The fighting could have been better.
Yeah,
because
so-
they didn't
Building
even
it up.
really fight. He
I
pulled a
mean-
thing out, and then he says something, and then
And then the way he stabs him too is very Leonardo DiCaprio. The way he like yells and like stabs him is very. You've seen him do this before. It wasn't even good acting on his part, and I was just kind of like, okay, we've seen him do that yell before, and that sort of like,
There wasn't anything behind it. It was like basically, I'm killing you because you killed my dad.
yeah. So, but
and-
Daniel Day-Lewis, man, him as Bill the Butcher, dude. He is amazing in this movie. Like, just watching him act and, like I said, his breathing, right
See,
down to
I
his
don't-
voice notes, all these things, his looks, the way the way he presents himself and talks and walks, and just how he is. That part where he says, "Whoopsie daisy."
Oh yeah,
I
After
fucking
he
love
kills
that
the
part,
guy.
dude. Like, I fucking rolled on it. Like, that part was really funny to me.
Yeah,
But, like-
no, it's sad that like because like I said, I've never really seen much with Daniel Day-Lewis, but the bad thing is it's one of those things that it's really hard to say like Bill the Butcher, but he did a good job as Bill the Butcher.
Yeah, it's like, it's a dumb fucking name for such a great character. But, like, at the same time, you're like,
It's very 1800s.
yeah, but like, it's just, I don't know, dude. Like, he fucking makes the movie. Without him, this movie would not be near as good.
I like the fact also that he pretty much says throughout the movie that Leonardo DiCaprio's dad was the last noble person.
Yeah, that the last person that he can, of any kind of note that he could remember killing.
And there's even a part where he says he killed the best person years ago or something,
Yeah.
like 15 years ago or something like that.
And but I don't know, man. The movie's good. They could shave some time off of it. I think that it's too long in areas. And by the end of it, you just want it to end because it's been so long.
I can't say that.
I can't. Well, just like towards the first half of the movie was fantastic, and then it gets into that last hour or so of the movie, and you're just like, oh my god, dude, where are they going with this now? But other than that, no, I'll give it a 6.5.
I also will say I like the end where it shows the tombstones
I didn't like that part.
in the back.
I didn't like it.
where the town changes.
I didn't like it because that was taking me out of that period, and I didn't like that. So, like, show the
I
tombstones,
agree.
show them age a little bit maybe, but don't show me like a fully erect fucking New York City. I don't want to see that because you just took me right out of what I just watched. Everything I just watched I'm right out of it. Like, you're telling me that it was all for nothing essentially, and they were all forgotten and blah blah blah. And so I just
Time
wasted-
marches on. You just took me out of everything.
You just took me out of everything I just watched.
everything that I felt. Like, I know
Yeah.
time marches on. I'm not stupid.
I'm
but,
not.
like,
Yeah, I don't need you to I don't need you to walk me through this with holding my hand. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that. I know that that's what it's the 1800s. Of course, it don't exist no more.
Right.
But still, I don't need you to show me an erect fucking New York City, almost 200 years 150 years later.
I think it's
I don't
just
need it.
showing you that it changed.
I understand that, but I don't need to see that. for the movie's sake. They didn't need to show it.
I get what he's saying. It takes you away from, you're watching this surreal scene with him saying goodbye to his father for the last time, essentially, right?
Yeah.
He's looking at his grave and he's saying goodbye to his father for the last time, and then he's walking away, and you're left with that feeling like, okay.
But then here's New York City,
and then all of a sudden, oh boom, there's bustling Manhattan.
Yeah, there's fucking the Brooklyn Bridge. And,
and like,
I don't need to see all that.
Yeah, it took me out of that last feeling about remembering these people, in 1800s New York.
Yeah, what happened to Leo and his old lady? Like, did they go on to have a happy life, or, I don't fucking know, because they just show me in New York 150 years later, essentially.
Like, just fade to black.
Yeah.
Just
fade to black. You don't need to show.
New York still sucks.
Huh?
Kind of showed me that New York still sucks.
But yeah, I'll come in at a 6.5. It's not the greatest movie I've ever seen. Honestly, I think without Daniel Day-Lewis, this movie would have easily been like a fucking 5.5, because he just murders the movie, man. He kills it. I love it, and he does such a great job with Bill the Butcher. But yeah, 6.5. That's me.
Sure.
I loved, as I said, the set designs, the wardrobe, the accents. They nailed it. And Daniel Day-Lewis, amazing. But I do agree with the assessment that, it's sort of, the first part of the movie, and then as soon as, like, Bill and Leo have their, falling out, the movie seems to kind of fall apart. Like, they don't really know where they're going after that. And
falls off the edge a little bit.
And that's not to say that they didn't maybe have a vision for it. I mean, it certainly seems like they had a vision for it. It just doesn't have the same feel. I wasn't as into it.
You weren't as invested.
Yeah. Like they weren't pulling me in as well as they were in the first part.
Because Daniel Day-Lewis was pulling you in with the whole dynamic between him and Amsterdam. Like, you were watching that for about an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Like, watching these two characters who, Amsterdam wanted to rip his fucking head off.
Yeah.
But he was biding his time.
Or did he?
Yeah,
right?
or did he? Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
But, like, it wasn't just that, though. It was more like you almost saw this thing happening in the second half, or maybe I'm reading incorrectly into it. I don't know. But where, the first half was all about Leo and Bill and their dynamic, right? And then the second half, they had this falling out. And then you're seeing the two characters separately all the time. There's no more, like, dynamic between the two of them, which I get to a certain extent. But, like, there's not even, like, this... You don't have any internal dialogue for them at all.
Right.
To say, like, what's Bill thinking? Does he feel betrayed? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no, like, I mean, obviously I'm sure he does to a certain extent, and I'm sure he's pissed, and I'm sure there's all kinds of things going on.
There's some mixed feelings.
But there's no internal, you're not invited into his house anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they take you away from everything that is going on with him.
You were once invited into that house as an audience, and you're not there anymore, and you don't.
You're just with these dead rabbits over there.
Yeah. There's no like.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like you. There, I think
they just take you out. They just completely take you out of Billy the Butcher's world.
Yeah, you're completely out of that world.
You're just stuck
only,
in Amsterdam's world.
Yeah, and there's no. So you're missing that dynamic completely. You're not getting both sides anymore. And I feel like that was.
I feel like you're right. This is definitely the whole movie is set up to be a two-way street. Mm-hmm. And after that first half, it's very much a one-way street with Amsterdam.
Right.
So you're only on his side, and you're not on Billy's side anymore. Like, you don't want to see.
Well, I don't even think it's about sides.
No, I'm not saying on his side, but I'm like, you're not seeing anything from his perspective anymore.
Yeah, you're not getting that insight anymore into what's happening over here anymore, and it seems almost like you're missing it.
Yeah.
And I agree there were certain parts that could have been fleshed out more, and certain parts that they took and fleshed out too much. So I don't know if they could have shortened the movie by doing that. I think it probably still would have been the same amount of time. It just would have been fleshed out better.
Right.
The pacing would have made more sense.
If they would have fleshed it out better and done better with the pacing, I would have been okay with a 2-hour, 47-minute runtime.
Yeah.
But it was where's this going? It's dragging here. Why are they staying so long on the scene?
Yeah.
You know, just shit like that. You're like, like the pointless scenes. You're like, what is the point of this?
Yeah.
You know, so those are the things that killed that last half
Sure.
for me.
So, but because of the, like you said, the meat grinder, I noticed that as well. That scene, the meat grinder with the people coming off the boat, getting back on a boat, and then the coffins coming off, that really set a stage with me.
You even heard one guy on that part say, "Do you think they feed us now?" Or
Yeah.
you hear a guy talk about getting fed.
Yeah, because they were so hungry.
Yeah.
The sets, because they're practical, because that automatically gives a 1-up for me because I love practical effects. And then Daniel Day-Lewis, his performance automatically is going to bring it up a little bit for me. So I'm going to go kind of in the middle and say 7 for me. Okay. So that's mine.
Okay. Can somebody bring up the Rotten Tomatoes and stuff? I don't know where my phone is.
Really?
I'm sorry, I don't pay attention to where my phone is all the time. I actually spend a lot of time without my phone.
That's fine. It's just funny because you're like, I don't know where my phone is.
Rotten Tomatoes. I'll type in Rotten Tomatoes, but you have to type
Cheater.
in... yeah, exactly. I don't want to be pronounced a cheater.
I already did it.
You already did what?
I already pronounced you a cheater.
Oh, well,
Can I
that's
just
fucked up.
put it in the search area?
Obviously.
Yeah. Calm down.
Chill.
Act like you've used a phone before, Matthew.
It's almost Christmas. You gotta be nice now.
Bah humbug!
It hasn't popped up yet. That's weird. Okay.
Got it?
Pushed it. Come on.
He pushed a button.
I heard your phone. You're showing it to me.
It's not in my pockets.
Don't show it to him.
Okay. What do you guys think the reviewers gave it out of 214
The reviewers
reviews?
or the critics?
The
The
critics?
critics.
I bet that the critics gave it a pretty
Oh, I bet they
high.
licked this movie's ass.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
96.
Martin Scorsese. 96?
Are you really
That's a
going
little extreme. This ain't no Godfather, okay? Let's get real
All
here.
right, I'm gonna go 87.
87. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's quite that high. I'm going to go 82.
And you said 87? Joseph, you win.
Yeah.
It was 72.
72.
Oh, whoa! That low. Well, they're the critics, but still.
Yeah, but still, though, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay,
That's low for
That
this
is low.
movie. Wow.
72.
How many critics were there?
214?
Wow, okay.
It
That's
says 214
low.
reviews, so I figure
That's
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 critics.
low.
250,000 plus ratings for audience. What do you think that is?
Oh, I'm gonna
Man.
go.
I bet it's lower.
You think so?
I bet it's lower.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's lower than the critics for sure.
Kind of like the.
Well, I mean,
picture.
lower than. Oh man, I don't know. 75.
75. Fuck. That's a good guess. Well, no, they said it was. I don't know, man. I bet it's lower though.
Lower. I mean, I don't know. It can't be lower than the critics because
I bet it is lower. I bet it is lower than the
it's a
critics.
good movie.
It is a good movie, but it's the runtime. It drags at the end.
Yeah, but what are we like?
back-
kindergartners? We can't.
Yeah,
sit
but
there
back
and
then,
movie?
I don't know, man. I don't know when Rotten Tomatoes came out, but I don't know. I guess Daniel Day-Lewis is a bit of a
I mean,
critical darling
Titanic did amazing, and it's not even as good a movie as this.
Would you just choose already?
now. I'm thinking. What'd you say?
75.
75. I'm gonna $1 down.
Oh Jesus!
I'm gonna $1 downer. 74.
Karen, you win at 81%.
Fuck. Really, it was higher. Wow. Okay.
81%.
81%.
And then let's see what people said. We're
Find
looking
some
at
1
the
stars
bad
and
ones.
remember, calm.
Don't get angry, Matt.
Oh, I don't care anymore.
Till he does.
Okay.
No, actually, I really don't care anymore. Okay, looking for 1 stars. Well, these are all the critics, so let's.
You could just look at a critic's consensus. You're not gonna find anything funny out of them.
They all just have either a splat or a tomato.
Well, the critics' consensus would be at the top, under the tomato meter.
What? It just says people.
It says people.
Top critic. That's all it says. Top critic. Like, where you guys all read the.
Do you want me to find them for you, Matt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here, I got this, man. All right, critics' consensus. Though flawed, the sprawling, messy Gangs of New York is redeemed by impressive production design and Day-Lewis's electrifying performance.
Okay, where are you reading this?
That's just the critics' consensus at the top.
Is that? Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah, that's just like their consensus or whatever. So we're gonna. All right, I'm gonna scroll down here and we're gonna find some negative audience reviews because there's got to be at least one or two good ones.
Because those people like to. I think that the people that do the bad ones just want to prove that they know big words. Because if
sometimes you do get that that feeling.
Like how many times do you have to go through a thesaurus and look up words that just mean bad? I didn't like it. So they have to use those like it was atrocious.
Here's a 1.5 star. Says all right. Jeez.
You got it taken away.
It's a 1 star and at 1.5 star by Guthrie something.
His name.
But it says pretty sets, makeup, etc. But so much OTT.
OTT?
Ridiculous, gratuitous violence. It's about gangs. Historically silly. Probably the worst Martin Scorsese film it could all have been. So interesting. Hard to believe the same director who made The Age of Innocence, never seen that, and why he cast Cameron Diaz is also a complete mystery.
I like how he complained about violence in a movie called Gangs of New York.
Right.
I mean, I'm not big on gratuitous violence either, but it makes sense.
Gratuitous.
I'm not big on gratuitous violence either, but when it makes sense, it makes sense. It's about gangs, man.
And
honestly, it's
look,
not really as violent as it could be.
But here's the thing. You're calling it gratuitous violence. The very definition of gratuitous means that it's not needed.
Yeah.
So it's not gratuitous. It's just violence.
It's just violence, yeah. And it's not even over the top violence. It's more realistic violence. Because it's not overly violent. It's not more violent than it has to be.
Right.
Like, yeah, the scenes that are violent, but they're not gutting people. They're not, brains aren't flying out everywhere like a zombie movie. I mean, this is just, it's showing the realism of actual violence in the streets with these gangs.
Yeah,
Okay,
so, no, your fucking gratuitous violence comment makes no fucking sense.
I'm having a problem finding anything else that's low. This one's 3.5, and it says for some reason this movie didn't really click with me. I was not a fan of the flow this movie went in. I could have been because of the length, but I think it was because of the different cuts the movie made.
I agree.
But that I wouldn't have given it such a low rating for that. It wasn't.
No, because it was still well acted and well made and things like that. Some of those things you could set aside.
Movies that made and took me out of it.
Yeah, but 3.5 stars puts it at about what I scored it.
No,
at.
that's
yeah. I guess that's true.
No, it's 2.5 stars. My bad.
Oh,
and that's by Trent J.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that
far.
I wouldn't go that low.
Right.
Like all these, here's a 3. It says, well, it had a triumph, especially Daniel Day-Lewis, and the 1800s set design. Gangs of New York fell short, and it's lacking plot and over long runtime. A lot of people that are short and are kind of say just because it's long.
Yeah, I mean, we were bitching about it too, but like...
This one has 5 stars, and it says Daniel Day-Lewis makes this movie incredible to watch. And he does do a really good job.
He really is the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
But, there aren't, the lowest after that one that I read was, a 2.5, and then the rest are, 3.
Yeah, I don't imagine there's too many.
Consider this was a Scorsese film. I was surprised at the lack of quality.
The opening fight scene was so bad. I liked the fight scene. In the
I liked
beginning.
it. I could see why people could think it was bad because it was kind of poorly choreographed. But I think it was meant to be that way because it's a couple of gangs. These guys aren't martial artists. You know what I mean? They're gang members.
Yeah.
They're just going to run in and they're going to hit people.
But it
You
says
know what I mean?
The opening fight scene was so bad it looked like a high school production fight.
That's because it was meant to be shot that way.
At one point, Liam Neeson kills someone with a sword, and they literally do the sword under the armpit special effect. I didn't see that, but
I mean,
okay.
maybe. It's a possibility.
But
I mean,
for
maybe,
me,
yeah.
it was accents that ruined it. I think they did great.
The accents. Oh my god, I thought that was amazing.
How any actual Irishman could sit through this without squirming at every awful attempt to mimic their accent.
The
is
whole
beyond
point
me.
is that each accent was different.
they were
Because
supposed to be different because they were
Yeah.
supposed to be Americanized.
Oh,
Yeah, because everybody had been there for different amounts of time.
Here's one. Oh, wow. Okay. This is the last one I'm reading because this is by Samuel L. and it's really long. It says,
Jackson?
I don't
Is
know
there a
if
lot of
that's-
MFers in there?
Motherfucker!
Says a messy film in every sense of the word. The pacing was, I think it was meant to be kind of messy though, because it was New York in the 1800s. Was poor, and things ran on the way too long. Everybody thinks it ran too long. The plot wasn't believable due to all of the weird gangs and silly drama. The movie's called Gangs of New York.
I kind of feel like an idiot.
I
now
was 5 episodes in, and
That's never gonna get old. I swear to God.
And the story was predictable for the most part. The cast was excellent. Okay. We're going to switch gears, but the actual acting could have been better at times. Daniel Day-Lewis put on a show, but it was more like theater acting. None of the characters were good.
what the fuck does that mean?
Some of the extras did a terrible job during the
I
fight
happen to
scenes.
like theater.
What does theater acting have to do with anything? If
E.g.
theater actors are the best kind of
I
actors.
happen to like live theater, ass.
Okay, e.g. the opening battle, which ruined immersion because you can see them not even trying. The choreograph during the first fight was some of the worst I have
Did we
ever
miss
seen.
something? Because
Then the cinematography was dreadly throughout. The virtual effects and soundtrack were acceptable, but far from good. Definitely the worst Scorsese film I've ever watched. See, that's why, like, okay.
Don't get me wrong.
really,
I
think
will
you just wanna
say-
don't use big words.
I will say that some of the special effects in the movie weren't the best. They were not the best. Some of the certain, you know what I mean by special effect, like some of the punching and the things that you would think you would have a bigger pack.
so you're
don't
talking
have
about
a
like the
pack.
choreography and the fights and stuff like
No,
that.
no, the actual sound effects.
Oh, the sound effects.
sound
Oh,
effects.
got you.
So, like,
oh
those-
my gosh.
So
Here's another one, but I'm not going to read this, but it actually says something about them using the N-word. Says, and of course, we have to include plenty of N-words since there's something important to
was
do
this
with
after
slavery.
was this review
that
after
is happening.
2016?
I mean-
2021.
Yep, makes sense.
It's a period piece. People.
Yeah, it makes sense that there's a...
Another movie that couldn't be made today. Just saying.
No, it could. Cause
No, it couldn't because they'd have to cut all of those pivotal points out because it's going to offend
No,
somebody.
it could because, and here's the important part, people. It's a period piece.
I
God,
don't care. They want to cancel the 1800s.
okay.
We got to cancel 1846. That just can't exist
The
anymore.
weak story is
Okay.
not worthy of Daniel Day-Lewis's fantastic performance. That's all that guy said. 2 stars. Here's another one. I'm not going to read them if they're real long.
You don't have to keep reading them.
Yeah, dude, we're already.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
got into it.
I mean, we only read a few.
Yeah, we only read a couple, man.
You just,
just keep reading
you
it.
just find a few good ones.
Man, you can
Calm
read these
down,
in your
sir.
free time, okay? I'll
Calm
send you
down,
the
sir.
link.
Last time you told me to calm down because I was too active.
Too
Now you're telling me
emotional.
to calm down because I read too much.
Getting too emotional. Now you're too invested.
Well, because I did really think after the last time I hosted, I was like, it was kind of, because really that isn't how I really act when it comes to people's opinion. Whatever, you got your own opinion.
I know, that's why I was like,
I decided to really go into it. With,
that's why when you got so upset, I was like, oh my gosh, like he's really upset. Like, calm down, man.
The Weird Al movie
I know.
really did make me mad. Those people, I just don't think they understood Weird Al's. I told you why.
I know.
Everybody who listens to the show daily remembers why I have a problem with the Weird Al people.
I'm not getting into it, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
got
gonna avoid the
messy.
subject.
It got messy.
So that's the reviews and trivia. Karen,
Okay.
tell us some trivia.
To simulate Bill's fake eye, Daniel Day-Lewis had his own eye covered in prosthetic glass. Can you imagine how uncomfortable that was?
would have been horrible.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was wondering how they did that.
Yeah. Most of the gangs mentioned by name were real 19th century New York gangs. The Butcher is largely based on William Poole, who is also known as the Butcher and had the same reputation as the character of Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay. So I've seen a picture of him.
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio accidentally broke Daniel Day-Lewis's nose during a fight scene. And Daniel
But it was horrible. They were fake. The fighting looked so fake.
right.
Yeah. But Daniel Day-Lewis, like a fucking champ, continued to fight despite the injury. They didn't even know that his nose was broken until it started to bleed.
Didn't Leonardo DiCaprio also cut his hand up real bad in the scene?
Yeah, doing Django
Django?
Unchained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis became so uncomfortable with the greasy hairstyle that he wore during filming that as soon as his filming parts were wrapped, he immediately shaved his head.
Oh, really?
I bet his hair was.
Oh, yeah. I kept
Yeah,
thinking that
yeah.
throughout. I was watching the movie like, ugh.
And then also with that cap that he wore
Oh, yeah.
in the fight
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Like, he probably left the set and just went straight to a barber and was like, get just all of it.
Shave it off, yeah.
The name Dead Rabbits has a second meaning rooted in the Irish American vernacular of 1856. The word rabbit is a phonetic corruption of the Gaelic word rabid, which means man to be feared. Dead was slang intensifier meaning very, so dead rabbit literally means man to be greatly feared.
That makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio both took salary deductions to preserve the budget on the film.
That's cool.
Martin Scorsese wanted Liam Neeson to play Monk McFinn, the sheriff guy,
Yeah.
but Neeson asked to play the Priest Valen instead.
I wish he had a bigger role as Priest Valen. I like Priest Valen. I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
but
wish
if he would have had a bigger role, it would have been the
Yeah,
sheriff, and he would have been a bad guy.
Yeah, and he didn't want to play the sheriff. He thought he would have a bigger impact as Priest Valen, apparently.
So, since you guys know more about actors, is Liam Neeson Irish?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because I've seen him do a lot of Irish roles.
I
I thought he was, but I
Does
wasn't
anybody
for sure.
here own the movie High Spirits?
No.
Anybody? So I would be the only one if I picked that movie. You guys would all have to borrow my copy.
Unless it's somewhere.
Because that's the
on-
first Liam Neeson. That's the first movie he's ever in. It's really good. It's really funny. Anyway, Martin Scorsese. I already read that one. Where the butcher taps his glass eye, and that scene where he tapped
Yeah,
it
that
with
was
the
one.
knife, and where he yells the "whoopsie daisy." That part you really liked. Those were both ad libbed by Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's
both
awesome.
Both of those.
That was one of
scenes.
my favorite parts. Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah.
Doesn't he stab a guy?
No.
He kills the guy.
No, he throws a knife at Cameron Diaz and just barely nicks her
yeah.
neck.
Yeah, and he goes whoopsie daisy.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The way he
Knife-
says it just
the
cracked
knife
me
he
up.
All right,
throws
this is
scene.
where this shit goes off the rails for me. I wrote all this stuff down because it goes off the fucking rails. When the film was first conceived in 1978, Martin Scorsese planned to cast. You guys ready for this shit? He planned to cast Dan Aykroyd as Amsterdam Valid, and John Belushi as Bill the fucking Butcher.
Was it going to be a comedy?
No.
That doesn't
I
make
mean,
any
even in
sense.
1978, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they're too comical. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
They're comedy. That's
So,
Yeah.
and they actually did have table readings and everything. Like, this was a legit project they were working on. And the project...
I like those actors, but I'm happy they didn't do that.
Right. The project only fell apart because Belushi died. So, I mean, I'm not saying that was a good thing. Just
They still could have remade it, I guess. It would have been so long
Well,
into the future.
when I
like-
was looking through the thing, there was another movie called I think it was Gangs of New York. It was like made in the 70s or something. There was a,
Maybe
they
it's
did have
something
a
that was in
cast
production.
reshuffle that was supposed to be Mel Gibson and Willem Dafoe, and it was going to be Mel Gibson as Valen and Willem Dafoe as the Butcher. That's better, but I mean, I couldn't find out why that one fell apart, but it did.
Mel Gibson, I think, was too old at the time.
This is in the 70s, honey.
Yeah, but Mel Gibson still. Yeah, when did Mad Max come out?
I don't know.
early 80s or late 70s.
Yeah, so it would have been around Mad Max time.
Yeah, but
time
Mad
period.
Max looked like an adult. He didn't look like.
Yeah, but he
'Cause-
still looked fairly young,
Yeah, he
though.
looked
He
younger.
looked pretty young. He had them
He looked
pretty
young
blue
enough.
eyes.
You gotta remember, Leonardo DiCaprio, when he was young, he had a baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he was almost 30.
Yeah, but
So-
also
He's
Mel
fucking
Gibson. I
pushing
don't think
50
would play
now.
a good Irishman.
Who?
Mel Gibson, I don't think.
No,
would
he's
play a good
fucking
Irishman.
Australian.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just saying that I told you this goes off
You know,
the
I
rails a
talked
little
to
bit.
an Australian, and he said that everybody in Australia hates Mel Gibson because he was mean.
I believe that.
This is where it's going to go off the rails even more. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, I'm born ready, baby.
Martin
Let's do it.
Scorsese also offered the role of the Butcher too. Anybody want to guess? I mean,
Hold on,
we're
hold
going
on.
off the rails. Okay,
What year was it?
This is all in the 70s.
It's got to be somebody who wouldn't be good role.
It's not a good one at all, in my opinion.
I'm thinking it's a comedian.
Even given the roles that he does today.
Oh, he still does roles today? And he's still a comedian?
No,
She didn't say yes to the
but
comedian
even
thing.
no. All right, I'll give you some hints. He used to be strictly a comedian actor, and then he kind of went into some serious roles, and he does good for all of them. But not, I would no,
Is he a larger man?
no. Tall,
It's not Jim Carrey because he wouldn't have been around then.
Would it have been Chevy Chase?
no,
Tall?
tall. Dark
Steve
hair.
Martin?
Mm-mm. Dark hair.
Oh.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks?
What?
Tom Hanks.
For Bill the Butcher.
Bill the Butcher.
Maybe not Bill the Butcher.
No.
I could see him. Actually, I don't even know. I couldn't see him in this movie at all. Definitely not Bill the Butcher.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That, not.
So, okay, now that we're out of crazy land, let's
I
get
think
back
he
into
was
some other
just going
shit.
with who was popular that day.
He, yeah.
He was. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is insane to me. So then Daniel Day-Lewis actually hired 2 circus performers to travel to his home to teach him to throw knives. He also went to a butcher's shop for several weeks to learn how to incise and cut carcasses.
I like actors who do that.
Well, that's method acting.
yeah,
That's what they do.
I also believe that that he could have gotten somebody better to play Amsterdam than Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, he did a good job, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, but I think that this role could have been handed to a variety of different people.
Yeah, I think that Valen would have been a little easier to cast than, I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis. It doesn't matter what he plays. It's kind of like Gary Oldman. He could be playing you, and you wouldn't know.
Yeah. But like in like Leo's case, like that character, the way he played it, anybody could have done that. It wasn't exact. I mean, he did a
That's
good
fair.
job, but I think that his acting chops for the movie was no better than.
And he was
The
still
Beach.
refining a lot.
I
you know,
think
too.
it would have
Yeah.
been easier to cast Valen than it would have been Bill the Butcher.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
what I'm saying. Yeah. And he also went out to dinner with DiCaprio and Scorsese one night after filming, and refused to break character because obviously he won't. He's a method
I
actor.
wonder if that would.
yeah,
I wonder if that got on their nerves.
The waitress was so scared of him that she wouldn't even go near him, and he also said that he listened to the music of Eminem to prepare for the role.
Eminem.
Eminem.
That's
Why?
yeah.
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
just telling you
understand
his
that part.
method.
Maybe it was old shit. Like he was trying to get into that, like into a darker sense.
Fuck, I don't know. It just says
I think it's
Eminem.
funny that the waitress was scared of him.
Yeah. They literally had to take his order from him and give it to her.
Isn't that what Shia LaBeouf gets a lot of crap for because he does that kind of crap?
Method acting, yeah.
Yeah, because I know Lawless. I got the movie. He was drunk on moonshine
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Him and
that
Tom
was just
Hardy.
an excuse
Yeah.
saying he's a method actor. So he can be
Him and
drunk
Tom
the whole
Hardy
time.
actually hated each other. He actually decked Tom Hardy on.
And then he
Yeah.
also
Which is
hit
a bold move.
that is a very bold move.
in Fury. He didn't bathe.
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
tank scene. Actually, a lot.
And they
of them
hated
did
it because he stunk because they were all stuck in that tank together.
Yeah, and he wanted it to be more realistic. And then I think
That's very
from that one
realistic.
he hit Brad
cheese.
Pitt.
Yeah, him and Brad Pitt got into it.
Jesus. The woman with the filed down teeth we were talking about,
Hellcat, yeah.
that was seen fighting with the side of the iris. She is based on a real woman who had teeth filed down and wore big artificial nails made of brass that she used as claws. She was called Hellcat Maggie, and she died in 1845 at the age of 25. Nothing else is really known about her.
Wow. I would like to learn about her, but at 25?
25.
She was young.
Well, most of them were back
Well,
then.
I think the average lifespan was 35.
Yeah, I think
It
so.
was, they weren't very old back then.
You know, I was actually told
Because of all the
I was like,
famine and-
it's funny because somebody told me a joke where why we're all breaking down and stuff when we're 35 is because we would be dead. You're not
Back in the
supposed
early
to live.
1800s, we'd be considered old men.
Yeah. Sarah Michelle Gellar was originally cast as Jenny, but had to back out due to scheduling conflicts with Buffy. Scorsese.
Oh no.
I think if she would have taken that role and done it well, I think she'd be more of an A-list actress today.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I think because she didn't take a lot of big roles back then. She
Right.
never really has.
Right.
Buffy was really her main role to date, and then playing Velma, or not
Right.
Velma, but Daphne.
Right.
But like, for her, I think if she would have taken the role and did really well with it, she could have been
I
more
thought
than
the same
just
thing. I thought
more
that
than
would have
just
been a
scream
better.
queen.
That would have been a good.
Yeah,
role
a
for
good
her to have
lifting
done.
off point for her,
It's
really
funny
building
for
up her platform.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, because I forget every time that I read that she's married to Freddie Prinze.
Yeah.
Like, I always forget that, and then I read it, and I'm like, oh.
He's one of those guys who was like super handsome back in the day, but the older he gets, the worse he looks. Like, he looks more and more like...
I didn't really see it.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say he's like devastatingly handsome, but I didn't really have a thing for him back in the day either.
I think he was
so-
handsome back in the day, but now I just feel like he's not aging as well.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she doesn't look so great anymore either.
That's true,
I mean,
yeah.
you're aging.
At least they do it naturally, unlike a lot
Yeah,
of these
exactly.
fuckers. You know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm
Like,
saying.
you can give them that much, and
Like,
they do.
none of us
They
look
actually
as
try
good
to.
as we did, 10 years ago. or
They're the
whatever,
type.
you
They're
know?
the type of couple though that actually like try to eat and stay healthy.
And they love each other.
Yeah,
Like they're
and they
very
actually do love
devoted
each
to
other,
each
yeah.
other.
Yeah,
So
and their kids and everything. Yeah, I've never heard anything bad about
Good
them.
on them.
Yeah, good for them for sure.
Scorsese then chose Sarah Polly. I'm not sure how you say that. For the part, she was in the Dawn of the Dead remake. That's the one.
She's
She
the
was
blonde
nurse,
girl.
Yeah,
yeah, she'd have been all right for this.
I thought
Yeah.
so too. But the studio wouldn't let him keep her. So the studio insisted that he pick a more bankable actress.
She's another one who probably would have had a really raised her up on that platform.
yeah. Well, the
because
studio wouldn't let it happen.
I thought she was great. Like she was really good
she
part
was amazing
in Dawn of the Dead. I thought she was
amazing.
awesome. So
Yeah, but the studio wouldn't let it happen. So enter Cameron Diaz.
Screw the studios,
I don't know,
man.
Cameron
That's why
Diaz-
I couldn't be That's why I couldn't be.
everybody
a director.
hates on her, man. I don't think she did a bad job.
She
I
didn't
don't
do
think
a
she did
terrible
I didn't think
job.
she did a bad job.
I mean, not as bad as like I was expecting. Like as soon as she came on screen, I'm like, that's it. I fucking hate it.
yeah, that's
But
kind of
It wasn't.
that's
bad.
kind of how I saw it too. But like, I've seen her in other shit, and she's ruined movies for me before. But this movie, I don't think she did poorly at all.
Well, and she wasn't exactly on screen.
No, she
very
wasn't,
Often,
like, yeah.
so not.
she's
enough
not.
to
She wasn't
fuck it
like
up.
a big focal point of the movie,
Right.
other than being the love interest. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
So that's it for trivia.
Okay, now we do next week, and we're doing the questions again.
Aaron's over here punching tables.
Punching tables,
Karen's
punching
all-
microphones.
Karen's
Yeah.
all mad.
Apparently.
But, so we're asking questions to see what movie you're picking.
Yes.
Does it have an airplane in it? He's thinking like the little
Well,
scene with an airplane.
Technically, yes, it does.
Oh
Oh, wait,
Jesus!
it's a Christmas movie, right?
It
Oh,
is.
you son of a bitch! That was supposed to be my question.
We should have jumped in there and asked it.
I couldn't. It was his turn.
It is, in fact, it is a Christmas movie in the vein that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
So very rare.
Is Santa in it?
I can't remember. Probably somewhere.
So it's the same vein, which means that Christmas has to be happening in order for the plot to happen. That's the
No. Well,
yeah. That's the
kind of. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Die Hard, isn't
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
the That's what has to happen for it to be a Christmas movie.
Hey, some people consider it a fucking Christmas movie.
Is it Reindeer Games?
No. Good guess though.
No, I had this conversation with my kid the other day. Like, that's what happened. That's the definition of a Christmas movie. That's why Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Because without it being Christmas, the Christmas party wouldn't be happening. Therefore, John McClane wouldn't be there.
Well, the Christmas part there is
Is Chuck Norris in?
No.
So if it's
One
a
of us
Christmas
is
movie,
going to have
it
to pick
means
a
that
movie with Chuck Norris.
if it wasn't for it being Christmas, then the plot
The
plot relies on it being Christmas.
The plot is furthered by it being Christmas.
Okay. All right. Then I'm satisfied.
Okay.
All right, let's move forward.
Is it an action movie?
Yes.
Of course it is. Come on. He said Die Hard. Is Bruce Willis in it?
No. No, he's not.
Steven Seagal? I've just been seeing a lot of pictures of him lately.
No. Like that would be your luck. Like it's got to be it.
Is it a 90s movie?
Yes.
Okay. That narrows it down.
Early 90s or
really.
late 90s?
Early 90s.
Lethal Weapon.
No.
Damn.
Christmas was going on in Lethal Weapon?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Haven't seen
Very
Lethal-
first scene is Jingle Bell Rock.
I haven't seen Lethal Weapon in forever.
I haven't either. I just remember that.
Do you know they came out with a series of that?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I never watched it.
They fired the first guy that was supposed to be playing
the guy who
Mel
plays
Gibson's character
Mel
or whatever.
Gibson's characters, the guy from American Pie, Stifler.
Yeah, no. They brought him in as that guy's cousin
Oh,
because
yeah.
they had to fire the first guy because he was so hard to work with.
Well, because the thing's on Hulu, and all I see is the picture, and then one of them,
Right.
the guy who plays the black guy, is one of the Williams. Williams or something like that.
Damon Williams or something. Anyway, questions.
Yeah, I already asked mine. You're up.
Oh, I've just been asking questions randomly.
Not related to that though.
Is Bruce Will? We
I
already
already
asked
asked.
Bruce Will. That's why I
Is it
got.
a cop movie.
No.
No. Okay, so it's not a cop movie. It's not. Oh shit, dude.
I don't know any Christmas.
It has a
type of
plane
movies.
in it. It's a 90s movie. It's an action movie. It's a Christmas movie. That doesn't help me at all. Action movie, 90s. Who's in that shit?
Like one of the only action Christmas movies I know is Reindeer Games. I've never even seen that.
That's not a Christmas movie, though. Really?
It happens.
It happens during.
Well, I guess-
they consider it. They actually do consider it a
yeah, I
Christmas
guess
movie.
it is.
That's
kinda,
why I
yeah.
said Reindeer Games, and Joseph's like, no, but good try.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was on my radar though.
Was it?
Yeah, I was like, nah, nobody cares about that fucking movie.
Bad Santa.
No.
I think that
Thank
was
God,
early
because I'm not
2000s.
watching that, and that's not an action movie.
That
So
movie's funny as shit.
I'm still waiting for somebody to pick a movie one day, and I go, yeah, I'm not watching that.
But you have to.
No, I don't. I don't have to do what I don't want to do. Can't tell me what to do. I'm an adult, Karen.
I threw it on the ground.
One of the only things I like by him. Hmm.
Come on, you guys, ask questions. You're not getting anywhere by not asking a question.
I don't have any good questions.
I feel like I'm the
Terrible. You are. I'm terrible at this game. It's too open-ended for me.
best. Too open-ended.
You guys are creative. I am not.
You just have to
At
ask
all.
questions.
Is
Ask
it,
questions.
Is it sci-fi?
Nope.
Not really. No,
It's action.
it's action. I don't know.
Doesn't mean it's not sci-fi.
You're the one that says it can't
It's
be
not
two
sci-fi.
things.
You're right. It's not sci-fi. No.
Remember, horror comedy's not a thing. Can't be two things.
Other things like that exist, just not horror comedy.
Shut up.
Say horror comedy.
Horror comedy.
Such a hypocrite. I need a hint.
And you're a hypocrite.
You need a hint.
It's hurtful.
Fuck.
I'm sorry,
a
Karen.
hint. It was. Man, I don't know how to give you a hint without giving it away.
You got to think of these hints, man.
I
Because you know
know,
we're going to
yeah.
ask. Especially me, because I'm not creative and I suck at this game.
Most of the people in this movie were known for mostly comedy movies.
My thing is,
But this movie is not a comedy.
So it's not like that. It's not the type of action movie that has like funny.
It has funny moments, and it's got let me put it like, I'll give you another hint. It's most of it. Everybody in this movie, except for the exception of maybe one, is known for doing comedy movies. But this movie has it's not really comedy, although it can be campy.
It has that. It's like how action movies have comedy in it, but it's not a comedy, right? Is that what you're trying
Exactly,
to say?
kind of, yeah. And it's got its campier moments, but they're not meant to be campy.
Did Tremors take part during Halloween? I mean, Christmas?
No.
No, it's in a desert.
That doesn't mean they don't have Christmas.
No, deserts don't have Christmas.
Yes, they do. It's just so hot.
It's so hot. They're just not coming here. It's too
They
hot.
don't have a Christmas tree. They have a Christmas cactus. Fuck. Is there a well-known action star in it?
Is it Ernest Saves Christmas?
Honestly, nobody in this movie. I'll even tell you this: nobody in this movie is an action star.
Yeah, that doesn't help at all. 90s, nobody's.
Is it Ernest Saves
Action.
Christmas?
No.
You're.
I'm just starting asking questions that I know are.
I
don't
know.
know
There's gonna be
Christmas
somebody listening to this, just like screaming.
I don't think not yet. Because
Not yet.
you guys haven't asked enough to like give anything away.
Man, like I nailed it on his last week. This is bullshit. Is the main like hero person a dude?
Yes.
Okay, of course he is.
Does it have a love story in it?
A weak one at best. Not really. No.
Okay. Is it a heist movie? Is there a heist?
Sure.
I've been in the mood for a heist movie.
Not really.
No.
It's not a heist movie, really. I like heist movies though, but no, not this.
God, in the 90s.
Is it one of the Ocean's movies?
No.
You gotta use the clues that you have. You can't ask things that are just way out in
Throwing random shit out there. I'll tell you this: Reindeer Games and the Ocean's movies have this in common.
Mel Gibson.
No.
Wait, Ben Affleck.
No.
Tom Hanks.
What?
What?
No, that's Lady Killer. Is it a bank?
No.
I mean, there's probably a bank in the movie somewhere, but
I don't remember all the questions that were asked.
You already said Ben.
I will say this: there is I take it back. There is a heist. There's a jewelry heist. I'm
But
throwing.
it's obviously not a very big part of the movie if you forgot
Oh, what's the
about it.
movie with Billy Bob Thornton and the
No,
other guy?
That's not it.
Oh, okay.
Talking about Matchstick Men?
I think that is
Yeah,
it.
no, it's not that. That's not even a Christmas movie.
I don't think it's a
I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't like. My problem is coming up with the Christmas movies.
I'm very limited on my Christmas movies.
Matt, you want to call in that hint?
Oh, you already gave a hint, but yeah, sure.
I gave her a hint.
Yeah, I already called my hint.
Yeah,
You
but
both
then he
get a
did-
hint.
Oh, it was the same. It was.
I just threw a
okay,
hint
yeah.
out there.
Okay, well,
This movie has Christopher Walken in it.
I think there's a movie I'm thinking of, but I don't know what it's called.
Start asking questions about it.
I don't remember much about it, besides the fact that it has Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken.
Is there a semi in it?
No, I don't think so.
I think I'm thinking of Reindeer Games that don't have Christopher Walken in it.
I think he just really wants to watch Reindeer Games. Fuck it! We're watching Reindeer Games next week, guys.
He's stuck on.
The funny thing is, I don't know if I've ever seen it. Does that have Brad Pitt in it? Reindeer Games?
No, it's got Ben Affleck in it.
Oh, okay, that is the movie I'm
Does it
thinking.
have Brad Pitt in it?
No.
Oh. Christopher Walken, Christmas, 90s. Jewelry heist. Have I seen this movie?
Oh yeah, you've seen this movie.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
Is that a Fat Boy Slim music video?
And that wasn't the 90s, man. That was definitely the early 2000s. Was it a Fat Boy Slim music video? Still one of the best music videos of all time.
That was good. Oh shit. Does it have a dog in it?
Maybe?
I don't know. Oh fuck.
Is it Blast from the Past?
No. Oh, I
there
guess
any-
Christopher Walken is in that.
Doesn't
isn't he?
it?
Is there an explosion?
Yes.
Okay.
There's explosions.
Explosions. Okay. That doesn't help me. at
No.
all.
No, it's an action movie. There's going to be
No.
explosions.
Is it one of the Fast and Furious movies?
No, none of them were in the 90s.
That's true.
And did any of them have Christopher Walken in it? I don't think.
No, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know. I didn't see past like 6 or 7.
I don't think I saw past 2.
I didn't see the one.
I've seen all of them.
Have you?
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Getting ready to come with a 10th one. I hope it's the last one.
Because you don't want to watch them anymore.
No, they're great. I'll keep watching them as long as they keep making them.
I didn't see past the one with the Volt dragger from the car.
That was like one of the newer ones, yeah.
Okay, so there's a plane. This is what we have, Matt. There's a plane, Christopher Walken, 90s, explosions, Christmas movie, and all the people that were in it were comedians,
No, comedic actors.
comedic actors.
They weren't stand-up comedians. Well, one of them was.
Karen, I don't know.
I don't either. I'm just telling you what we have.
You guys are not.
Are
good
you
at this
sure
game.
that I know? I told you this is too open-ended for me. I am not creative.
Is it on Netflix?
No,
Is it on Hulu?
no.
Then I might have to borrow it.
It's on HBO Max right now.
See, I don't even.
That still doesn't help me.
Ninja Turtles.
Nope, that's not a Warner Brothers property. Or yeah, it is actually. I think it is now. Actually, I don't know. I think Nickelodeon owns that or something. I don't fuck. Who cares?
Is the bad? I don't know.
There's 2 bad guys.
Is Christopher Walken one of the bad guys?
There's 3 bad guys. But yes, he's one of them.
All of a sudden, just changes the game.
But he's not a pivotal role in the movie.
So he dies. That's what I'm getting.
He does die.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting out of it. And that sounds familiar. Fuck. Doesn't help me though. Are you sure I've seen this movie?
Yes, you've seen this
Can
movie.
I have another hint?
Oh my god. For the sake of this going forward, this movie also has... Fuck, what else do I say without giving it away?
We need to come up with like a certain number of questions or a certain amount of time that was given to where if we don't find it out.
Well,
it's
I
just
can't help you guys suck.
just
I warned you.
because one of the movies I got
I
picked.
know my limits.
Since you made me pick a Christmas movie, the next movie after the Christmas movie that I got to pick, nobody's going to guess.
All right, well, how about this?
That's a challenge.
This is my final hint. Fuck.
It's a hard movie that he can't even
You
come
suck
up
at
with.
giving
I don't want to give
hints.
away any hint because it's going to give it away.
Give it away! Give it away! Give it away now!
He's full of it tonight.
This movie is... Fuck.
I know. It's fuck.
Part of it takes place under... the last part of the movie, the climax of the movie takes place in a sewer.
Sewer. Oh, that doesn't help.
Is it Reservoir Dogs?
No.
Oh, don't know what that is.
Sewer.
That is never in a sewer.
I don't know. I've never seen Reservoir Dogs.
In a sewer?
Yes.
Do they live in the sewer?
Someone does, yes. One of them do. But one of the bad guys.
Is it a nice part of the sewers?
It's a very nice sewer, actually. It looks very
you
livable.
can actually there's parts of the sewers that you can fix up. Look at the turtles.
Well, they live in a subway, but yeah,
First they lived in a sewer.
true.
This is not helpful at all. Nope.
Yeah, Karen, you're the cinephile here. I'm
I'm a cinephile, but I am not creative, which means that if you don't give me like something to work with, I suck.
Okay.
I can't come up with things.
I'll
off the
give you
top of my head.
one last big ass hint.
That's what I
Okay.
said about the last time.
I'll take it.
Fuck it. It's got Danny DeVito in it.
Okay, Danny DeVito.
Are you fucking kidding me?
For walking.
Is it twins?
Oh, Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
I forgot Christopher Walken was in that.
Okay.
Oh
But
my God.
why were you saying like this was so easy to figure out?
Because it's fucking Batman.
Okay, it's fucking Batman.
You start
so, like,
naming actors like it's got Christopher Walken from the early 90s. It's
You could
got.
have said Michael Keaton.
I don't want to say Michael Keaton because that gives it away. I didn't even want to say Danny DeVito.
Well, as soon as you said Danny DeVito, and then you were saying like
Sewers.
and I
and
was like, oh,
the
I know what it
Penguin.
is.
Yeah.
He don't live in a sewer.
Yeah, he does.
No,
Yeah.
he lives. That's not a sewer.
That is the sewer.
Yeah.
It is
Are
a
you sure?
sewer, yes.
Because I thought it was a penguin enclosure.
No,
bottom
it's
of-
a
it's like
sewer.
under-
No,
Other
okay,
part of the
he comes
penguin
from the
enclosure.
sewer, and then like that's where he was, and then he comes out, and then at the end he goes back.
And that's where Selena, Kyle, and Christopher Walken, they all die in the sewer except for Selena Kyle.
Yeah, she's got 9 lives.
Yeah. Well, after the movie, probably like 4 or 5. But
Yeah, she used a lot.
yeah. But yeah, so next week we are watching Batman Returns.
Fucking stoked.
Yeah. See, I told you you'd be happy about it.
I need to. I forgot that was during Christmas.
I might
need
actually watch the first one too.
I thought, I was like, man, I'd hate to watch this one without watching the first one. So I went ahead and ordered all 4 of them on Blu-ray in a set. So
You consider? Well, I guess they are kind of part of.
they're
the
all part of the same
first-
thing. Well, they all came in a set, so I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Batman Forever wasn't terrible.
Well, I'm probably. Yeah, I didn't think it was terrible either. I'm probably going to need to borrow the movie.
That's fine. I don't know. You get it back to me that before. Actually, we'll figure it out. I'll get it. Yeah, but I don't know when it's coming. It's supposed to be here the 5th, I think. So, but yeah. So next week we are watching Batman Returns with Michael Keaton,
The best Batman.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, do I need to do a
Christopher
plot synopsis?
Walken,
Christopher Walken,
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Do I need to do a plot synopsis, or does everybody? Know
I'm pretty
who
sure
the
everybody-
fuck
you know,
Batman is
it's
and what
fucking-
he does when he returns.
It's fucking Namtab, okay?
Name tab.
That's Batman,
That's Batman
backwards.
Okay. Nerds.
We're nerds.
Really? All right. So anyway, next week, Batman Returns. I hope you guys were all going nuts with this whole trying to guess the movie thing because I was.
warned you.
Hey, I'm doing the outro. I'm the host.
have at it, Hoss.
Okay. Next week, Batman.
Batman
Returns.
what? Batman
Returns.
The-
So bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I heard this really funny story where this guy said, "Is there any Michaels out there?" When he went up to a microphone, and then a couple guys stood up and he said, "This concludes our mic check."
That was a good one. I like
That was a good one. That was a very
That
good
was
one.
my mic check.